This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, all you wonderful people all over the world, and welcome to the Sunrise Safari, but the sun has not risen. So it's the pre-sunrise safari. My name is Taylor McCurdy, and on camera with me today is Senzo. He's stuck with me for one more drive before you can escape the vehicle. Right, we're looking for all sorts of wonderful things today. There are so many footprints in the road. Who on earth has been running here? Lots of hyena tracks, civet, jackal and Janet. Can you say that 10 times over? Right, remember that this is a live and interactive safari, so if you would like to talk to us today, please do talk to us. We get lonely out here. Hashtag SafariLive, or you can also comment away on the YouTube chat, on the Facebook pages, smoke signals if you prefer. Maybe you've got a really fast flying pigeon, or perhaps the new trend is peregrine falcon. Send the messages however you like, as long as they get to us. The offices are in Johannesburg, so it's, you know, from America it'll take you a while. Right, so we're looking for lions today. Hey, Senzo. Emma is directing, and she's already said that she's going to tell on me if a lot of falcons start arriving in camp. Maybe what about owls? It'll be like Harry Potter, just sending letters through the mail hole. I don't know what you call that. What do you call that thing? Someone help me. What is that thing in a door where you put your mail in? Consulting detective. You want me to find your owl? No problem. I'll magician one. I wish I could do that. Last night we saw the barn owl that I was telling you about that lives on Cheetah Cut Line, and then Chris Rogue was saying about the owls that were at what was that dam? Voyatella Dam. But I didn't see them. I did drive past there, but I also didn't really go exploring. Saw lots of nightjars. They were like perched up on trees, which was quite cool for a change, instead of down on the ground. Do you know what's going to be amazing though today? Let me just tell you all. It's misty. Senzo, we're going to get animals in the mist today. Oh, there's a scrub hare. Hello, scrub hare. A male slot. Of course it is, Alana. I could not. I have no idea. Also, trying to think on any of our doors growing up as a kid if we had a male slot. No, that doesn't really happen in South Africa, where people put mail through a mail slot. We have like mailbox outside, and that just gets filled with random advertising nonsense. It's never anything important. The occasional water and electricity bill, I think that's what adults say. I'm not a homeowner. Oh look, we've got a migration of impala that is still sleeping. Hello. We shall very quickly, I can't show you much because I can't put a spotlight on them, sorry. It's going to be very dark. We're going to disturb the impala now, unfortunately. It's too dark, eh? Oh, Senzo says we can go to infrared. Can we go into infrared? Madam Chair Lady? Okay, no, we won't be putting this in IR because I'm going to send you to Steve, because he is ahead of the game, and he's already in infrared, so we will bypass his impala and go and look for some lions.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome indeed to my vehicle, where we are in IR still. And my name is Steve, joined by Craig on camera. And, well, what a marvellous morning it's going to be. The birds are calling. Let's just have a little listen. Rattling cistercula, fork-tailed drongo, black cuckoo. Day. There's that sort of time of year when the mornings are a little bit fresh, but not too cold and not too warm either. Interesting sort of moisture development in the horizon, the change between the night and the daytime temperatures. Taylor's already told you how to get hold of us. I would suggest the YouTube chat stream or hashtag SafariLive if you want your questions answered today. Snail mail or flying in with a bird might take some time. But anyway, it is myself and Taylor out this morning. I was visiting some friends in Cheetah Plains last night, and I saw a number of spotted eagle owls in the road on my way home. They're always very, very funny to see in the road because they're such an elegant sort of bird. You know, you look at them and you think, wow, these birds are so awesome. And then you see them sitting on the floor walking with their wings like this. They lose that regalness completely. We just got a couple little franklins in the road there. I wonder if you can get them, Craigo. A couple little youngsters. See them running around. They wouldn't like an owl this time of day. Hello, Aegis. You want to know how we work out our schedule every day? Well, it's not a very difficult process. In fact, we have a morning meeting, and sometimes everyone's listening, and sometimes people aren't listening. And essentially, the guide team gets determined, and then the camera team just gets put on board. Whoever's the senior cam op at the time just makes a decision. Sometimes there's some thought in it. For example, Craig and Senzo and Jandre, there's a rotation on who's going to be walking. They don't just walk 3 in a row, for example, unless they're scheduled to do something like that. But they generally discuss it, and then they know who's going each day. Quite often you'll notice the cam op will be on a vehicle one night and the next morning on the same vehicle, just because it is a little bit easier with all their equipment and things like that. So it's really not a difficult process, though. For example, if Craig wanted to work with me every day, we could make that happen. We just don't. He doesn't want to work with me every day, you see. He likes to mix it up. He likes to change it up. But yeah, the cam ops, I like all of them, except for Craig, of course. I like all the cam ops. All the cam ops that work here are really cool, so I don't mind being with any of them. It is nice to get different perspectives. Each of them do their job slightly differently. They have different ideas, different shots, especially on bushwalk. They have very different ways of getting some of the magic that you see back home. So obviously, I'm sure you probably all notice slightly little different bits of the camera work from each different guide. I mean, should I say cam op? Just like each of the guides have got their own sort of presenting style. It is what adds that sort of uniqueness to the show. Indeed. Well, some poor cam ops, you only ever see the thumbs. Well, in Craig's case, that's the case. He hates being on camera, don't you, Craigo? Craig does not like being on camera, folks. Senzo loves it. Senzo, Manu both love it. Craig, not so much. Jandre, he's quite a fan of putting himself on camera as well. But yeah, all good boys, all good boys. There's space for girls as well to do the cam op job. It's not a boys-only department. It just seems to be that way at the moment. So I know Nikki always was keen to try possibly jump on the back as a cam op. Maybe that will be realised at some stage. Getting out in the bush, and Emma's saying the same thing, her plan B. Indeed. Well, everybody, Princess Kalamba was seen last night around Mamba Loop, Twin Dams area. So I'm going to slowly head in that direction, see if we can find any tracks of her coming out. Apparently she was so hungry she ate a tortoise. So that is how hungry the young lady is. We saw Tingana recently walking straight past a tortoise. He knows better. It's like, what? It's not worth it. It's not worth the effort. And she tried to chase a scrub hare, so unsuccessful on the scrub hare as far as we know. Just hopefully we don't lose any signal just as we go through this little dip. If we do, I do apologise. We'll just come out the other side. So we're coming up to Chelapan on Twin Dams Road. Taylor's sort of headed to the northwest. I did also have the two Nkuhuma males, the Mangeni male and the young Nkuhuma male, sitting on the main road last night. Oh, what's going on here? Sitting on the main road last night at about 6:30, 7, so shortly after show ended. They were sitting there looking into the sort of northeast towards sort of Vuetela, Buffelshoek, going, where are the rest of the pride? Apparently those two young males got seen alone yesterday on Arathusa Simbambili. So they're on their own. And yesterday Taylor had one of the Evoca males mating with what we believe to be amber eyes, which is very strange. It does happen every now and again, everybody, when a female has had cubs. She sometimes still mates almost like a false mate, almost like a confusion, you know, let the male think she's in estrus, and then he doesn't have whatever mindset he might have, cub killing situations, all that, even though we do believe the evoker males to be the parents or the dads of the cubs. The evoker males I haven't seen in a couple of weeks now, but they are well entrenched in the north, well entrenched in Buffelshoek, and they have been seen quite regularly up there. We just don't, unfortunately, get the opportunity to go up. But when we do hear lions calling, that is where it's coming from. Okay, so we're just going to keep going down. This is the main road, Twin Dams. We've just passed Chelapan. Slowly head down here, see if there's any sign of the young princess coming out. Everyone said it would be lovely to have some lions. Well, it would. It really would. I wouldn't mind seeing some lions doing their thing on the property, not just moving in and out straight away, which would be really cool. But I think with the amount of rain we've had, we really are producing a very decent amount of grass for the buffaloes for the next coming months. So I think watch this space. We might have a good opportunity to see the Nkuhuma lions moving in and spending a few weeks on the property like they did a year or two back, just before I got here. Apparently the drought had the buffalo in all sorts of weird and wonderful places in Djuma. Rob, it seems like they have joined forces. It's something we thought that might happen, but one thing that's very interesting, and I'm surprised, that the lack of mane development in the Nkuhuma male. He's almost 3, and he's almost got no sort of stubble at all. And then you look at the Mangeni male, and he doesn't, although he's looking in much better condition, his fur's all back, he's got almost nothing from a mane. I mean, you wouldn't even know he's a male unless you look behind, underneath his tail. But what's interesting about that is that I think the Mangeni male doesn't have any mane development because he's been in such bad condition. It's kind of like a breeding bird. A breeding bird doesn't come into sort of breeding readiness or feathers unless it's in top condition. So I reckon he's a little malnourished, and he's slowly starting to pick himself up. And soon the two boys, seemingly joined together like this, are going to start competing a little bit too much with the adults of the Nkuhuma pride, and they're going to get left behind, which is what they've been done today or yesterday. They were left behind because the boys are, well, do what boys do. They're a little bit pushy and shovey and maybe a little bit too physical around the kill. But I'm sure within the next few months, we're going to see both those males' manes starting to really push out and develop. But that Nkuhuma male, by holding his mane back and staying very, very sort of feminine, as you were, he's probably avoided the attentions of the evoker males, who no doubt would probably give him a spank. Jeff, I don't even know how old that Mangeni male is. It's actually hard to identify. Maybe Taylor knows, or Jamie. I don't actually know how old he is. I think he's equivalently the same age. Maybe a bit younger, maybe a little bit older. I'm really not sure when he was born. I don't know much about that pride, having never seen that pride before, but they're about the same sort of age, but without any mane development. I'm sure a lot of that's got to do with condition, to be honest. All to do with condition. Okay, I'm just going to go straight down here to Twin Dams Road, first of all, or to Twin Dams. Have a look to see if Columbus may be just hanging around at the dam like she sometimes does, and then failing that, we'll move into sort of the eastern side here to see if maybe we can find her. Some hyena tracks, they were everywhere yesterday, everywhere. And so we got a confirmed ID last night or yesterday morning. I was at the den and we had a hyena come and stick its nose in. I managed to get the ID from Jamie because we didn't film it live, but the hyena that stuck its nose in was in fact Comet, who's a male. He came and stuck his nose in. One of Pretty's cubs popped its head out, and that's all we saw. That's all I got to show you. But I thought it was a female, but I wasn't sure. I thought maybe it was Ribbon, but I misidentified her, so I do apologize for that. But he does have a very nice line down the side here, which is where I got my confusion from. And I wasn't thinking a male hyena would go and pop his head into a den like that without getting any sort of telling off. But I think he was being cheeky because there was no females around. They were all in the east. We could hear them all competing and cackling around and howling and doing whatever hyenas do, and probably trying to compete with whatever male leopard there was hanging around in the east yesterday. And then lo and behold, that is where they found Kalamba. So she's been just snuck in this little area. So a few of you are wondering if a male will ever be left to look after the den, and that's not something I'm aware of happening. Males really don't have any rank in it. They just they come and go. I think he's just an inquisitive little guy. You know, hyenas absolutely love youngsters, so they can't help themselves. They just always want to figure out what's going on. There's all these new smells and these new creatures that are potentially going to be more sort of higher ranking than them. So they just want to come and say hello and play around and be cheeky with them, I suppose. And can you imagine the smell if you're a male hyena and you come to that den site? There's just an enormous number of smells for you to pick up on, which, well, we had to leave. We left because it was really, really smelling quite badly. Okay, well, we're just coming up to Twin Dams now. Just going to see if I can find any tracks around this watering hole. But in the meantime, let's go back over to the western side. Taylor McCurdy, see how she's getting on with her lion tracks.
No, we're not following up on tracks. The only tracks I had were down at the gate, which are of 2 male lions, obviously the ones that Steve saw yesterday afternoon, so the Nkuhuma male and the Mangen male. They come onto Juma, but I'm not really sure where they go because they put so many logs everywhere. It's an obstacle course and we can't drive over it, so I couldn't really follow the tracks. I didn't see any tracks crossing out. That's not to say that the lions haven't. It's particularly hard to see footprints this morning, and also that section of the road is typically quite hard. So, you know, it's not the easiest for us. So I'm just checking. Because obviously we want to figure out where Amber Eyes went. Did she go north or did she go east? And I can't tell you right now, which is frustrating. I don't know if it's because maybe they crossed when we lost signal, and then there were a couple of land owners were driving around and they maybe drove over their tracks, because that's possible. Rajan, you're also wondering, I don't know, because I didn't see it, so I can't give you an answer. Remember, yesterday, unfortunately, I had to leave the sighting. I tried to sit there for as long as I could, hoping that they would move so that we could figure out, but now we're back to, I suppose, asking the same questions. So I was desperately trying to hang around a little bit, please, which direction you going, to give us some better sort of clarity on what's going on with you, Amber Eyes. But anyways, we don't know. We have absolutely no idea. So now we will just have to wait. We might only get another opportunity like this in, I don't know, a week's time if she decides to go back there, unless she graces us with her presence now. Hello, Impala. Wake up. The fact that the Impala was sleeping here suggests that no lions have walked through here recently. Yes, it did look like she was faking a headache, hey? I mean, we've seen it so many times. I've seen it with lots of lions pretending, just sort of tolerating and mating with a male, you know, just because why not? Because for the safety of her cub. So we'll see. That's what was so interesting, because it was like, okay, cool, what you doing? She wasn't calling yesterday. We know that for a fact. I think I mentioned that. She wasn't calling, she wasn't looking. She didn't seem to be looking for the pride. Otherwise, she probably would have been doing some contact calls to let the pride know that she was trying to find them. The fact that she was being so suspicious and so quiet and sort of moving quite quickly as if to try and get away from that male. So I don't know if she managed to get rid of them. Maybe as you show that boy who's boss and send him packing. So yeah, I don't know what we're going to do now. I think we're going to go up. We've just done Sandy Patch. I didn't do all of Buffalo's or Cut Lion. I think we're going to go up Albury's next. Emma's trying to be really funny this morning on the radio, and I mean, I'll give her about a 7 out of 10 for it, but she's pulling a Taylor right now and she's stumbling on her words. Emma, have you had enough coffee this morning? I think you need to snap your fingers like this and go, assistant, assistant. I don't know who the chief coffee maker is at the offices in Johannesburg. Who's in there? Who's in the office right now, Emma? Tell us. Tell us who's with you while we get to Aubrey's Road. Okay? Okay. I mean, I would ask Nina, just saying. Senzo also said you should ask Nina to make you some coffee. Hey, Senzo? You can't just whisper something behind the camera and then think you're safe. So cameramen like to do this. They like to think they can say whatever they want on the other side of the camera, and they think that they can just get away with things. Yeah. I'll tell them. I'll tell everyone what you guys say. Roadblock. But it looks like everyone is just driving around it. Shall we see if we can move it? Do you think we can snap it? This could be dangerous. The elephant has done most of the work for us. I'm hoping this... I hope it just doesn't go over the top, otherwise we're going to get knocked out. No. Okay, that one's not going to work. I can see why everyone was driving around. The attempt there was to use the bull bar on the front of the vehicle to push the branch out of the way and snap it. But no, we'll just create a little roundabout there. Unfortunately, if I had to take my machete out and try and chop away at that log, I'd probably be there for about 2 days. So we'll just wait for someone to come along with a chainsaw. I tried though. No one can say that I didn't try. You all saw me attempt. It would have been pretty funny though, except Emma, you would have been down to 1 feed this morning. Because that would have legit knocked me out. That was a big branch. Okay, so there's still no lion tracks on Aubrey's Road, so they didn't walk up here. Elizabeth, yes, Impala, I suppose they do sleep, they rest, especially the young ones, they get tired. So they don't sort of go, oh, the sun's gone down, I'm going to go to bed now. Like we all think. I mean, I think I used to think that when I was little, like that in kudu and zebra, as soon as the sun goes down, that's them done for the day. They tuck themselves in and they have a good, couple of hours rest. So Impala might sleep during the day. They might have a siesta at night. Obviously, they're a lot more vulnerable at nighttime because the predators are more active. So they kind of need to be on alert. So what you will see within a herd is a couple of them sort of sitting down, resting. Some might actually be sleeping. Some are just sitting there chewing the cud, ruminating. And there'll be a couple of others that are standing around. Essentially, it should be the male that is the lookout and making sure that his herd is nice and safe. But what we're seeing at the moment is, lots of different herds of impala all coming together, and wildebeest and sometimes zebra up on the open plains behind camp. And there are quite a few males and females, and they're all looking out for one another. But there's no competition at this time of the year. Everyone's just had little ones. No one's mating just yet. So it's not rutting season. So it's normal to have so many big males all in one area. You still see them sparring and butting heads, but it's typically not anything super serious. But they do need to start gymming to get ready for rutting season. They must get strong. Hey, Senzo? Yeah. You can't just go into rutting season. You've got to practice. Oh. So they will just sort of rest. Like me now, like I'm actually on autopilot and I'm just having a quick siesta. Not really. I did watch a video on YouTube though of a guy driving a Tesla, and I'm not really sure what was going on, but the video is of this guy and he's just cruising down the highway and he's kind of just driving like this. You must go and watch that. It's interesting. I don't know how you can just have a quick cat nap on the highway. I thought that was crazy. Actually, it was terrifying. But anyway, right. Come on, animals. We've not even seen a bird this morning. Not even one. We'll get there eventually. Hopefully, at some point, either Tlalamba is going to show herself. Oh. Hey, Puma, what's happening? You asked some questions yesterday. You were asking questions. I don't know. Yes, you did ask me a question yesterday, and I called you Emma by mistake. Remember? Senzo, do you remember when I called Puma Emma? So yes, it seems like you are all enjoying the impala conversation. So the reason why impalas are super successful, it really comes down, I suppose, to their diet. The fact that impala are not limited to eating one thing is that they can eat a variety of different things. They can eat grasses, they can eat fruits, they can eat leaves, they'll eat flowers, they'll eat seed pods. They'll literally just eat all the things that are vegetable types of vegetables, I suppose. Plant matter is probably a better word. And they're quite hardy as well. So they're able to survive fairly cold temperatures. They're able to survive the extreme heat. They adapt really, really well. And then, of course, they breed exceptionally well too. Obviously, they breed once a year. Not that their little ones always have the best chance or success rate, because the leopards snatch them up. Everything snatches them up, actually. But if you look at, say, a warthog and an impala, I mean, a warthog will have quite a few little piglets, and normally one or actually zero will make it out here. So, I don't know, I feel like the impalas do it a little bit better. Right, we're back where we started, and we've still got nothing on the lines. So we shall continue going this way. Oh no, I was like, that can't be Steve. That's Jamie. Jamie's ahead, look. There she is. I'll put her in a circle. Jamie's over there. Okay, we're going to keep driving and go and find out if they found any tracks, or if you go to Steve to see if he found any tracks of Kalamba.
Thanks, Taylor. Well, we found the tracks of Kalamba in the drainage, and then Craig remembered that they actually had her last night popping out just here somewhere onto Twin Dams. So she's not at Twin Dams itself. We didn't find her down in the drainage. So what we're going to do is come around. The next road up here is Elephant Skull or something like that. And I'm just going to double check, because it's a drainage she's spent a couple of days in last week. So maybe she's in there. Now the light's a little bit better to see the ground. A little bit tricky when it's dark to do any tracking. The spotlight. And when I was talking, a bit tricky. But we're just going to go around here. You know, if you understand why cats move, they move for food and they move for water. They move for territory. Kalamba's not moving for territory. She was probably looking for some food. Sean, you want to know about the smell of the hyaenodin? Well, it's not a good one. It is not a good one. I was having a chat with Jamie before our game drive yesterday to find out, like, what makes them move? Like, how long do they stay at one? And it really is one of those conundrums. You know, they can just decide time to move, time not to move. It can get really smelly. They don't do anything about it, but it is getting to that stage where, the five that I've seen, youngsters, apparently one or two for Ruben as well. I don't think they're making too much of a mess at the moment. But then with the adults, namely the males coming around and deciding to paste where the youngsters are, there's a very, very bad smell there. Some air freshener would be nice. I was actually even asking Craig if, because Sydney drove this vehicle last night, if maybe he drove... There's a little bird here, Craig. Oh, don't fly away. There he is. Redback shrike, the male. Chip, 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 chip. There he is. Isn't he beautiful? I was asking Craig if someone had driven in any poo last night, because, well, following around everywhere we drive, I can just smell the smell of something feral on the car. But, so there you go. The redback shrikes are getting ready for migration. The male, this is a fully mature male. They're going to be feeding, getting full up on insects, building up body condition. Most likely, most of them will have gone through a full molt at some stage in preparation for their flight back north. And males, females, and juveniles that come down with them, were bred in the north, have come down, and they'll be heading back north in the coming weeks or so. So it's very interesting to watch and to see when the last migrating birds are around. The woodland kingfishers, who are one of the migrants that come here to breed, are still around, still making lots of noise, although not as much as they were before. but late rains can cause insect blooms and can cause animals to stay a little bit longer than intended, and can even lead for them to actually stay and overwinter sometimes. Rosemary, birds are love birding. Unfortunately, we've got a little bit of a delay now with our Johannesburg final control. So everything is 7 to 8 seconds delayed. So unless we get a bird live like this, it's quite often quite difficult to frame them. But he's playing beautifully well with us there. And you can easily see, if you look at the face, he's got that little bit of a Zorro mask. So if you're looking for a bird in the bird book, look straight for any bird that's got that kind of mark. You'll quickly find the shrike family and then easily identify that as the redback shrike male. Anna Marie, that's a good question. Who leaves first? I'm going to have to think about that. The European rollers are still here. The European bee-eaters are around still. It's possibly one of the swifts or swallows that might leave first. Bearing in mind, you have certain birds that need to breed in the north. So barn swallows, they breed in Europe. Also, the European rollers breed in Eastern Europe. So I'd say any of the birds that need to get to the other side of the world and still need to breed are the ones that leave earlier. So redback shrike, probably they need to breed up there, so they'll have to leave at some stage. But I'm not sure which ones go first exactly. Oh, Craig, here's a female. Oh, no, it's another male. Don't worry. Oops, off he goes. There was another one over here. I thought maybe to compare, just on that log, to compare the difference between males and females, but it is indeed another male looking very pretty. So, for example, I found a redback shrike once way out of the season, and he had an injured eye. Something had hurt the eye, maybe an insect leg or something had kicked him in a very damaged eye. And so because he couldn't get his condition up, he overwintered, which is not uncommon for some birds to do. If they can't get the right condition, they can't get the right molt, they can't get enough sort of body weight on them, it's impossible for them to migrate. It's the same as you not being able to afford petrol or a new set of tires for your car. It's better to rather stay at home or stay where you are, wait until everything is better, and then next year you can do the same thing. You also get something known as reverse migration, which is where young birds who haven't quite learned the migratory route before, so normally they'll start here and then they fly back north. Some of them will do 180 degree and go the wrong way, and some of them will end down in the Cape where they have gone the wrong way completely, and then they just get a bit confused. Crossy Stash, you want to know if they migrate in groups? Well, most of them will. A lot of the birds will start accumulating in large flocks. The European rollers apparently... See, here's a female here, Craig. Just here at 3 o'clock. I'll show you the difference between them. Just here at my 3 o'clock. A little bit more right. And up and right. A little bit more right. Sorry, just on this next to the tree. At 3 o'clock. More right. On that branch there. Right. Yes. A little bit more right. It's right on the right of the screen. There you go. There we go. That is a juvenile or a female, everybody. Can you see the very sort of scalloped chest? A very large eye. You can see it's got the makings of the mask starting to form on the face there. But the very big eye makes it easy to identify. A lot of people sometimes will confuse this for one of the fly catchers that we have around. But this time of year, you've got to look very carefully at the shrikes because they can confuse many a birder. And I'll actually show you the male and female difference now. So some of the birds will actually, so that is actually definitely a juvenile. So some of the birds will accumulate in large groups, sort of starting to face north. Once they've sort of got their condition up, their feathers are all remade, sort of grown. They'll start accumulating, and you often find them on telephone poles, telephone wires. Definitely swifts and swallows that migrate do that. You find them in quite large numbers, and then slowly together in large groups, they'll go all the way back to wherever they came from. But there's different ways of doing it. They don't all fly over land. Some of them have to fly over water. Some of them need to stop along the way to build up condition to feed. Some of them can go long distances, days and days and days without feeding. That's due to the amount of condition they've built up while waiting to migrate. So here we go. Here is the male, the juvenile. There's just a nice drawing there. You can see the makings of the mask on the head there, and they're quite sort of scalloped, sort of breast happening. And then the female looks quite similar to the male, except she's nowhere near as sort of dark around the face, but very scalloped underparts. There's a lot of detail. There's a lot of detail indeed. And this time of year, commonly we'll find these birds around. They are very, very prominent, but they will all slowly be moving back. Most of the migratory birds that come here are all here for the insects. So as soon as the insects stop sort of dominating or flourishing, the birds will move on. So we're going to make note to this here of who leaves first. We're going to notice who are the first ones to disappear. I don't know. It's definitely the ones who have to go to Europe. The Moor falcons are gone. I haven't seen one of them, but they're going to go all the way to Eastern Asia, Far East Asia. So the Moor falcons are gone. I don't think there's any of them around. And then I think the next ones to go are probably going to be the European rollers. European bee-eaters, they're probably going to move as well. Is that another beautiful bird? I don't know if we're going to get him. Nope, jumping around. Okay, well, we're going to just investigate. There's some oxpeckers just flown off over here making some noise. Let's go see who it is that they have been eating on. And we're just going to check the road up ahead. In the meantime, let's go back over to Taylor for an update.
And I'm just fixing my hair today. It's very untidy. I don't know what's going on with it. There's a serious amount of frizz going on right now. So, we've not found anything. We spoke to Jamie, and after speaking to Jamie, she said she also hadn't seen any tracks. So it was nice that we had extra eyes just checking before us. So I feel confident in saying there are no lion tracks, which is now the question of where did they go. They could have just crossed quite far, sort of down towards the gate, down that section. So I just want to see what is in the tree. It's probably just a branch that looks a bit interesting. The amount of times I think that we miss leopards sitting up in trees because they just become a branch. It's far too high. Did nobody see anything interesting on the dam cam last night? Nothing? If you did, let us know. You know how to do that. If you don't, just hashtag SafariLive or via carrier pigeon is the two ways that you can get hold of us today. Emma says nobody saw anything interesting on the dam cam. How disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Okay, right. What else are we going to find then this morning? I feel like, I don't know what luck we're going to have. Where's Tangana? Has he come back? I wonder if he's come back. I didn't hear any leopard sawing last night. Also, I do like that the baboons have taken up residence again, but Senzo and I have already Senzo, it was you and I, we chased after them and they just, wouldn't show themselves. They were very rude. So we won't be going there. There were roars on the dam cam. That's interesting. But where are the lions? Where are their footprints? If their footprints are not here, we need to maybe go and check to the west. So we will go and check to the west. Over the dam wall we go. Ooh. Miss Lapwing and Puma, you've said that there was a genet on the dam cam last night. Very exciting. That's wonderful. Hopefully it provided much entertainment. Okay. Oh, look. Animals. Hi, birds. We've got a variety of avian species. We have got, which I'm sure you've all seen, so it's no new news to some of you watching the dam cam. Look at what we've got. We have got a grey heron, we've got guinea fowl, we've got blacksmith lapwing, and 1 times Egyptian goose. How fantastic. Can we look at the guinea fowl, I think, first, because they might vamos from this area. And they're in my top 5 favourite birds. Specifically, the crested guinea fowl. Not crested, helmeted guinea fowl. Crested guinea fowl, I don't know how I feel about them. I think they just came down for a drink. Now they're sort of preening themselves. It wouldn't surprise me if they were roosting up in some of these dead trees in the area around Voyatella Dam. Just having a grand old time. Small flock of them too, just the 4. Normally they gather in much larger groups where they can annoy the rest of the world. And then we have the heron. Shall we have a look at the heron? Sorry, Senzo, I know you were at the heron before, but I was worried that the guinea fowl were going to move away. Mr. or Mrs. Grey Heron just walking through the water trying to catch all sorts of wonderful things. Go to the foam nest frogs and wait for them to fall out of the nest, heron, and then just collect them. Yes, but stepping very carefully. I also wouldn't want to prick my foot on a thorn, and there's a lot of thorns in this water. I'll never forget that one time we thought that would be a good idea to try and catch frogs in Voyatella Dam. I think it was World Frog Day 2017. And I suggested gumboots to walk around. Everyone laughed at me and said, what a sissy, blah, blah, blah. And then you remember how terrible it was. It was the worst idea ever to go barefoot because it was all grass and there was devil thorns and things like that. It was terrible. I, you see, had experience in catching frogs before and knew that gumboots were necessary. But anyways, it was a terrible idea, Emma. It was really horrific. You can go back and watch it. It provided much entertainment, except it just annoyed everyone because we couldn't catch any of the frogs. And we got 1 frog. Wonderful. Right, we shall continue. What else can we have a look at? I'm not going to worry about the baboons and things because you can watch them on the dam cam because they don't know that the camera's there and you can get nice and close. Whereas if I drive there, I'm just going to herd them all around and then they'll run away from me and then I'll get annoyed. And then I'll have to go back to camp for another cup of coffee. And then Emma won't be happy because she'll only have 1 feed. You can just see how this all spirals out of control if I show you the baboons. Okay. So we will go check the west for those lion roars. Well, we're not going to be able to find the lion roars, that's for sure. But maybe we'll find the animal that made the roars. Seeing as though nothing has come this way. Let me just check carefully here. Hi, Michael. Michael Fleetwood is wondering if I'm a good fisherman. Well, I actually did buy a sticker the other day that said, gone fishing. So, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm good. I like going fishing. I don't think I'm particularly good. This one time, I'll tell you how great of a fisherman I did. I will post I'm not joking, Emma. I did buy a sticker that said, gone fishing. I was going to stick it on my camera box. But then I realized that each letter it's a disaster. I'll show you. I will tweet or Instagram or something the sticker later today. Hi, Impala. Hi, guys. It's nice to see you again. Thanks for coming today. Autographs later. Thanks. No photos. No photos. So, I mean, I like fishing. I don't know if I told you this story once already, but this one time in Zambia, when Ali and Tristan came to visit me, and Ali was coming to do like a site inspection of the camp, and we went out fishing because Tristan wanted to catch a tiger fish. So did I. Ali and I actually were just going for the girls' day, and then Tristan had to come along. He kind of ruined it. Ali and I just wanted to chill and have a girls' catch-up. And anyways, we were all standing and we're fishing. You may have seen the photos of us fishing. And we all caught a fish at the same time. Next minute, rods are going zzz. And I'm looking at Justin, who is our fishing guide. And he looks at me and I was like, Justin, this is very suspicious that all 3 of our lines are going at once. Something is not right. Actually, no, let's just drive around on the edge of quarantine and just try and look over towards wreckers. And then, next minute, he goes, strike! I don't know why. Yeah. Anyways, looking, and all our lines are just going. And we're like, it's a hippo. So myself, Tristan and Ali caught a hippopotamus. the same hippopotamus that just cut across our lines. And now we're like, oh, well, this is fun. Now, we didn't want to have to cut the lines because we didn't want the hooks to stay in the hippo, so we kind of just did like little jiggly things. And then the lines all came out and the hippo carried on. Was not impressed with us, that hippopotamus, though. It was really annoying, though. The hippo kept coming around us and breaching quite close. So, you know, it got caught. But anyways, that hippo was very upset with us, yes, you can imagine. It was not our friend. Yeah, so, I mean, there we go, Michael. I didn't even tell you about a story about me catching a fish. That just goes to show you. I enjoy fishing and I think it's a lot of fun. But I don't think I'm very good at it. I don't know, Emma. I don't know if it makes me a bad fisherwoman if I caught hippopotamus. We didn't reel the hippo in, that's for sure. Trying to get that on the boat would have been a disaster. So yeah, I did catch tigerfish while I was there, though. We caught bream. That was all. I didn't catch a squeaker. Yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna go fishing next. Oh well, I'll just keep trying. Okay, we're gonna keep bumbling around here and just sort of check for any signs of lions. Off we go to Steve to find out if he is also a great fisherman.
Well, thanks, Taylor. Should we maybe get our fishing rod out here and have a little fish in Treehouse to have? Here is Treehouse Dam. We just had tracks of Tlalamba kind of heading in this direction. So we thought we might just come and have a look, see if there's maybe someone lying around. I used to fish a long time ago. I used to find it quite fun, but I haven't fished in years. I'm the kind of guy who likes to sit on a river with a nice comfortable chair, an umbrella, a book, and you throw a fishing rod in the water. It's not necessarily about catching anything, it's just about sitting there and enjoying the scenes. I've got some friends that used to wake up at 2, 3 in the morning in the rain and walk like 3-4 kilometers on a wet, cold beach to stand there on the beach fish. I can't do that. I could never do anything like that. Not my kettle of fish, well, don't excuse the pun, it was well intended. Well, there definitely are fish in here, although what you can see at the moment are terrapins. I remember Brent saying something about the best way to catch a leopard was with a squirrel and a fishing rod, and I'm still not sure whether he was joking or not. But maybe a terrapin on a fishing rod would help us catch Tlalamba. Apparently she was hungry enough yesterday to eat a tortoise. So would she be interested in a terrapin? So there definitely are fish in these watering holes. I mean, we saw Tingana gorging himself on fish that had died from probably oxygen starvation at Chitwa watering hole a month or two ago. Probably 2-3 months ago. Deirdre's cuckoo calling. Some of the viewers are wondering if there's a different taste between terrapins and tortoises. There most certainly is, everybody. I've never tried them, but as far as the facial expressions I've seen off of certain animals that have, terrapins are also well known to feed on carrion that potentially is being left in the water by a crocodile, and so they get a bit more of a foul taste to them. They also are able to void their contents onto any animal that scares them, and I have smelt the result of that. It is horrendous. I've never smelt a tortoise smelling bad. So tortoises are grass-fed, probably very, very tasty. That's why they come in such a nice shell. But terrapins probably should be the same, but due to the fact that they do feed on a different type of sort of organism, they are feeding on rotting organic material and sometimes meat and all sorts of other things in the water, they're not as nice. So maybe, like with what some people do, they will go and take some fish, like barbel or catfish, and they'll just put them in some fresh water for a couple of days, and then apparently they do taste quite nice. But taking them straight out of a muddy wallow like this, they're going to be full of all sorts of nonsense that you don't want. So it's good to cleanse them. So maybe putting terrapins in a bucket would change their flavour. But everybody, it's not something we're going to be doing. It's just a bit of conversation this morning. Hello, Sandstar. You want oxygen starvation? Essentially, it can happen wherever there's a whole lot of organic material, fertilizer, anything that goes into a water source. And what that causes, it causes the plant life, algae and the like, to grow and bloom like extremely high. Quite often that can take the oxygen out of the water as well as also shading the water. Organic material then also has the potential to get locked up underneath the surface and it compacts itself. And that can also go into something known as anoxic environment, which then, if it gets turned over or churned over by the movement of animals, namely hippo, often leads to these sort of oxygen blank areas sort of erupting into the water, and so further diminishing the oxygen that's there. And we know many fish require oxygen for survival. Catfish, on the other hand, can come to the surface and gulp the air out before going down. They've got lungs as well as gills, so they're very well adapted. But many of the other fish, not designed for living in watering holes. Woodland kingfisher Crager, top there. Here's another one who's going to be leaving soon. Nice migration talk this morning. Oh, of course, he doesn't want to show himself, but they're not as vociferous as they have been. Oh, there he is. He's probably going to have a bit of a bath. He's probably going to flap himself down, cleaning himself or herself. The easily identified kingfisher of the woodland. Oh, there we go. He did it. He just went and flopped on the water. Now he's going to have a bit of a shake. There we go. A bit of a beak clean. He might do it again. They often do this a couple times. Coming here to breed. So coming to South Africa to breed. Not many of our migrants do come and breed. Only those that come from sort of Africa sort of way will breed. If they have to come and have a nest and rear the chicks themselves. The cuckoos are the exception. The cuckoos are the only birds that can afford to fly all the way from here, if they do come from north of the Sahara Desert, and can breed, because they don't really need to do any territory. They don't really need to build a nest. All they need to do is pop into the nest of another bird and get them to do all the work for them. Very cheeky cuckoos. Very cheeky indeed. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So nice to watch. There we go. It's I have no idea why birds bob their heads to music. I think they just might be bobbing, and you happen to have music. I don't know. I think you can put any sort of audio track on a bird's movements. They're just doing their thing. They're not really, or maybe it's the beat in nature. They can feel it in their fingers. There you go. He's saying it's cold. It's cold. It's cold. So this is often a twice daily or once daily occurrence for birds. They'll have a bath of some sort, and the position of the water, the way it's situated. Maybe you've got bird baths back home. You want to know, how do you get more birds to sort of come and wash itself? Well, here in nature, having a spiky sort of trees or thorny trees close to the water facilitates a lot of the seed-eating birds. It'll come and land in the tree and will rotate down to drink and go back up again. It's not easy for them to land here and try and bath if there's no cover or shelter nearby. Because when birds come and do this, it's a very dangerous time of year for them, or time of day. It's when many of the bird-eating raptors are about, and they like to chase them about. So seed eaters come in their numbers, and quite often you can find them if there's a small acacia or thorny trees right next to the watering hole, kind of like what this guy's doing, sitting inside of the tree. Double dash, I mean, I don't know if it's important for them to bath, but they do it. They like to clean themselves, like to get rid of any dust there might be. Also helps to cool themselves down. It also plays with the preening oil. They go through a mixture of preening oil and dust and water. And by doing all of that, they clean themselves, and they can also prepare their feathers for flight. So by wetting it, like for example, those of you who've maybe had a shower or maybe gone to bed and you wake up, you've got some serious bed hair, like what Taylor was saying for herself this morning. It's very difficult to brush that bed hair out, but if you have a bath or a shower, and then you brush it out, it's much, much easier. So birds will do that. They might get some tangled feathers from sleeping at night, whatever it might be, from some vigorous activity the day before. And then by bathing, wetting it, they can then go through, reapply all the preen oil they might need to, and then re-zip all the feathers back together, because the flight feathers are very important that they are zipped like Velcro, little hooks, little barbs. And if they all catch together, then it allows the bird easy flight. It's the same as when birds migrate. Having new feathers is ideal. Having clean feathers that are all zipped up in the right place makes flight much easier. And if they don't, it makes everything difficult. So it's like basically going on a long distance road trip with your steering out of alignment. You're just going to be driving like this, and maybe the tires aren't fully inflated. You're just going to expend more fuel than you are needed to transfer yourself across a given distance. So it's one of the things birds do, and I think they actually quite enjoy it. Very good, everybody. Well, that is Treehouse Watering Hole. We've given it enough time here, and there's no sign of any Princess Tlalamba. So we might just go and have a quick little look at the hyena den and then do another loop back in this direction. You happy with that? Go see if there's anyone home. There might be. Let's go and identify some new hyenas. See if I can identify Comet quickly and easily. And our tracks up and down here of the hyena, they are everywhere at the moment. I will go and check again on Leadwood, like I did yesterday, to find out if there's lots of more fresh tracks. Because if there are, then maybe the den is going to move. Maybe they've got a secondary den somewhere ready. Could be in that area, but there's a number of fresh tracks heading back this direction, so I'm going to assume it's still okay for now. Because yesterday on Mamba Loop, I saw some young hyena tracks with adults, little ones like this, which could only mean that maybe Plonk or one of Pretty's youngsters is following her around. I thought it might be too soon for them to do that, but you know, the hyenas don't read the books, folks. They don't read the studies. They don't read the scientific papers that come out. They just do what they do. And all we can do is observe. Wisteria, I'm sure they would. Hyenas are the ones who have the stronger jaw, that would probably have much easier opportunity to break open a tortoise shell. I have never seen one doing it, but I have no doubt that they do. I haven't seen one eat a terrapin either. We had Osana eating terrapins last year, and then also he caught them and he was like, no, I'm not going to eat this. It's just inquisitiveness. They just want to play with them, and I'm sure once they've had one, then they realize, oh, that wasn't very nice. Just like a civet. I'm sure most leopards will have at least one civet in their life and then realize, that didn't taste very good. Or every leopard will probably have at least one attempt at a honey badger and then realize, that's not worth it. Those guys are way too physical. They can't play with their food when it comes to honey badgers. Okay, so at least 3 or 4 hyena tracks. One heading that way, 3 headed back that way. So going straight to the den. Gonna pop in there in a few moments, see exactly what we can find. No one eats honey badger, we say, but then bearing in mind, when people reviewed the footage, I don't know if this has come back up on air, when people reviewed the footage of Trishala at the den with that carcass, that, who was it that had it? Was it June, had that carcass of an animal that we were going through all these discussions? Was it a civet? Was it a jackal? And it's been confirmed through reviewing the footage that it was indeed a honey badger. You can see that by the foot and by the underneath the chin here. So How that happened, I don't know. I don't know who it is that caught that honey badger, who it is that killed it. I doubt a hyena would have a chance of killing a honey badger, but if it died in some way, they most certainly would pick up the scraps. But anyway, see, we're going to keep down here. Let's go back to Taylor and see if she's had any luck on finding any tracks that side.
And Senzo and I are getting lost in the grass currently. Can you believe it? Senzo was just saying that this is not a very nice road to run down. Yes, this is not a safe option to go running. The grass is so tall and it's very windy, so you can't really see around the corners. But it could be a good road for a leopard or a lion or actually anything. It could be a good road for anything. Looks like there have been some elephants marching down this road at some point. Maybe we'll be able to see them. There's some fresh bits of grass that have been dropped on the road that actually don't look very old at all, or at least from the last couple of hours. See? Look. There. I'm not even going to stop the car because I'm going to start again. That is what I'm talking about. Classic elephant wasting like that. Hey, Senzo? They always take too much in their trunks and then they drop half of it on the ground. Well, not always, but sometimes. Actually, it happens fairly often. But there's a lot of birds around. Emma, you're on a roll today. I mean, you get 6.5 points for trying to be really hilarious, but the execution's not going down so well today. Hey, don't worry. That's like me every single day. Don't stress. Emma's normally sassy, and she's full of the chirps, and she makes all the jokes and puns. She's hilarious. She's funnier than Kirsten. Kirsten's not here to defend herself. That is why I checked to see who was in the office this morning. You will be attacked by Kirsten. She'll get you. I don't know what that sound was. That was like a cat meowing. That was not a very scary sound at all. But anyways, Kirsten is the head honcho of directors, so... Okay, we're getting closer because we're getting elephant dung now. Yay! Okay, let's find the elephants. Then we'll just stop looking for cats. We'll just drive. Josh, oh wow, you specifically want to know who's the biggest sass queen between Jerry and Emma. Oh, shall we say some things that I'm probably going to regret? I mean, I feel like that's my life. Oops, Taylor, filter. Shouldn't have said that. That's me every time. I should go... No, Emma, I think you could be the biggest... Elephants! Wait, is this what you said earlier, Senzo? Senzo called elephants and then I didn't hear him because I was talking. Hi, guys. Oh, look at that tiny baby, Senzo. Hi, guys. Relax. It's just us. Hi, big girl. They're in a flat panic because I've arrived at the sighting. They were like, oh, we thought we were hidden. No one could see us. It's like, you know, it's like the police arriving when some teenagers have jumped the fence, like to a factory, and they're like graffitiing the walls. It's like that's what the elephants have been caught doing, don't you think? And they're like, get out, every man for himself. Well, they've all run away from us now. They're not trumpeting, though. They just ran. Senzo, there's a nest. There's a I don't know if you saw the dove that just flew out. Okay, I'm going to try and show you. We'll get back to the elephants. We're going to let them calm down because they've just lost their minds. In this tree, but like, can you see there's a gap? Here we go, a little bit to the left. Okay, Senzo, look here, there, in there, on that branch. Okay, Senzo zooming in. Look at the nest. I'm going to see if I can roll forward, stay like that. That is a dove nest. And you can actually even see an egg inside. Super cool. I was like, what is that bird doing? I was like, that's a weird branch to be sitting on. And it wasn't. It was sitting on a nest. Very cool. So it was a turtle dove that is nesting in there. That's nice. Very, very basic sort of little stick nest. You can see it's not really well designed. If we got some hurricane winds, that would probably blow that nest apart. Okay, let us carry on. Because the dove was incubating, but then I think she thought we'd spotted her. So we shall carry on to the elephants that have had a heart attack for no reason. I don't know why they... As we came around the corner, that's all I saw. I just saw elephants running. So we shall see how they are with us. Just give them a bit of a break. We'll probably, as soon as I see one, we'll stop. They've all just vanished now. Maybe we've chased them... Oh, what is on the seat? Something is biting me. Something is forever biting me. So don't laugh, it's going to come for you as well. The whole herd has just vanished now. Oh. No. Yes, Sandstar. Senzo is eagle eyes. Has got eagle eyes, not is. He has got eagle eyes. Now I've lost the... Oh, you see, they're still running. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're very nervous. I just saw the bushes. Stealth mode. So something has happened to these elephants that are very unhappy. They're still running. I don't know what's wrong with them. Okay. We'll see if we can get a view, because I would like them to relax, but maybe they're just nervous Ellies today. We'll figure to see if he's got a lazy hyena that's not running away.
We do indeed, Taylor, have a very relaxed hyena. This is Pretty, I do believe, lying down. She's got that little gouge in her left ear, which makes it quite easy to identify. And her two naughty little youngsters have been around trying to bite my shoe. Of course, they're always emboldened by the presence of their mother. And she's looking in fine condition, I must say. Rather round and plump. Now, there was no female in attendance yesterday morning. Oh, there's another female over there. Who's that? Just see, she's going to come through, I think. Yeah, it might be June. Have a look in a moment. There's the one youngster, one of Pretty's youngsters, and then there's a female at the back, just on the other side, on the northern wing. They love coming up to the car. Definitely have driven something, because they're very interested in the smell of the wheels. Hello, where are you, hyena? They're not at all shy. Somewhere underneath. If I started the car, you'd see them, boom, run in every direction. But we won't do that. Let's try and... I'm going to try and identify who that female is at the back there. It looks like it might be Jude. Ivy, Pretty looks pretty full. She does indeed. She is looking very relaxed as well. And, well, no one's bothering her, which means that she's probably been here for some time for the cubs to have suckled, because no doubt if she hadn't, they would be vying for her attention now. But when we arrived, they were on the other side, giving June a bit of a hard time. I think it's June, though. She's going to come this way shortly, and maybe she will reveal for us her two little youngsters, who no doubt are probably secreted away inside. And will we be fortunate enough to see Ribbon today with her little youngsters? Child of the universe, that's one of the reasons why they will eventually move, because the smell here becomes too much. It becomes an attractant for all sorts of predators. But invariably, it's hard for the lions to get inside the holes to maybe catch a hyena, but doesn't mean they won't try. Leopards as well. There we go. She's about to come on the top there, Craig. I wonder if we can get a picture of her there. About to come around and see the ears are intact. Yeah, it looks like June to me initially. She's got a couple of scratches on her ears. She's a big female, I must admit. And when she turns to her side, yeah, you can see she's got very limited spot patterns on the side there. And here we go. She's going to call. Hello? Anyone in there? You can see her mammary glands there. Her false penis, which is inverted at the moment. That's one of the only ways I know how to identify a female, is if you can see the mammary glands enlarged like that. Because otherwise, you look above them and there's the anal sac there, anal pouch, which looks, and the genital pouch, which looks like a pair of genitals for a male. There we go. Pulling one out, is she? No. Where's your little youngsters, June? Maybe there's going to be some vocalizations. That sometimes happens. But yesterday was interesting because it was Comet who stuck his nose in, just like June did now, but very, very quickly. It wasn't a deep, long excavation. And he just stuck his nose in, and one of Pretty's youngsters came out almost immediately, which is what made me think it was a female, but I was proven wrong. There we go, nice itchy chin. He's always got a very low hanging head, old June. She's never standing very upright and tall in her approach, which is one of those sort of submissive sort of gestures in hyenas. I don't know if you can hear that tongue, but it sounds very sandpapery. I've never been licked by a hyena. Rusted, this is a great view indeed. Nice to see a big female hyena. Nice to see that we can easily identify her as a female, definitely a lactating female. And maybe now she's going to get her little youngsters out to come and say hello, because they are very cute. There we go, she's licking one. Here he comes. Here he comes. Oh, hello. They're just getting more spotty by the day. More spotty by the day. Hello, precious. Oh, I've been sleeping, Mum. I've been sleeping. It's interesting that they come out like that, isn't it, folks? Because, I mean, we didn't hear any noises. We didn't hear any sounds, and yet her youngsters know that it's her. They can smell her. I suppose if you smell like a hyena and you have the sense of smell like a hyena, you just have to stand by the door for 5 minutes and your family will know who's home. Oh, that is just cuteness right there. So it's quite incredible how quickly that black is turning to spots over the last 2 weeks. Cara, age 10, I think there's a very good chance that the youngsters do defecate inside the hole. We do see, I haven't seen them in the time I've spent with them. And it's going to be interesting. Here comes Pretty. She's, in my opinion, a smaller female. But June is being very submissive. June's head is very low to the ground. We're giving a fake smile. Allowing the youngsters a ceremonial greeting. Apologize for my silence, everyone. It's wonderful just to watch and listen. Wisteria, she's not growling, she's talking. She's an auntie, and she's just letting them know who's boss, I suppose. See June with her wide open mouth, that expression, that smile. Not a sign of aggression. Almost a sign of, don't bite me. I'm sorry, don't bite me. Kind of that sort of gritted teeth look you get when someone challenges you. Oh, another hyena's come in around the top there. Who is this? Okay, well, this seems to be, I have no idea at the moment. I'm not going to say anything until we see what plays out here. Here we go. Pretty just scent marked, pasted on this branch. Who are you? Got a very nice gouge out the side of her ear. I think this is ribbon. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is indeed ribbon right here. A very nice gouge out the side of her ear. So this is why the den smells like that. All of these individuals are pasting with their anal gland. The youngsters are reciprocating. The adults doing the same thing. And those very smelly pastes that give off all sorts of things for hyena society. You've got to be careful grabbing grass with your fingers. So every now and again you grab a hyena paste, which I can tell you right now, not ideal. Thank you, Crystal. I'm glad I got my identification right this time. It's interesting to see there's not huge amounts of dominance being shown. I mean, when she definitely showed some dominance towards June, but June immediately just reciprocates with a low head and smiling face. But when it came to Ribbon coming out here now with Pretty, there was absolutely nothing. If anything, Pretty showed a slight show of sort of submissiveness, but they definitely seem to be very good friends. So awesome to be able to have these scenes with hyenas at the den. And Taylor was saying that Ribbon has got some youngsters, so that would be nice to see. Maybe she'll poke her nose in and they'll come out as well. But you can imagine just having these individuals spending a couple days here. Can you imagine the smell that must perpetuate an area like this? Pretty's looking off into the distance at something. I'm not sure what's going on. The youngsters are watching her move away now. Safety of their den. She's moving out of the scene. It's all smells in hyena world. So we're hoping we get to stay with this clan for some time, and that they don't move too far. If they do, well, hopefully we find it as soon as we can. Because how long has it been now? Must be a month, just over a month now. Craig, do you remember when we found it?
I'm not sure. I was in June.
Craig was on leave. So I'm sure, Emma, you've got the details. If you don't, someone out there has got a date for me about when we found the hyena den, this exact den. The day we followed Hukumuri, it was a Friday. That's what I remember. I know it was a Friday because we had him the night before. We had him on Hukumuri on a Thursday evening on our rehearsal, and then on the Friday we followed Hukumuri all the way down here, and then on that Monday, or maybe the following Monday, we did the hyena special den special for SafariLives. Sorry about my light there. June has to lie exactly there. See how she's giving her little youngsters a little bit of a licking. You don't see the other adults doing this for the other youngsters, although it was noted that there was some sort of allo suckling the other day. It's not something I've ever physically witnessed. I find it quite interesting. There definitely are reports of it, but there's lots of talk about hyenas, how they will exclusively only look after their own youngsters. They won't allow youngsters of someone else to suckle. And on that basis is why I've always thought when we've been at the den, when we saw Pretty's two youngsters or we saw Plonk for a time on his own, why they were in such good condition, which means that they must be being fed by the adults. Chris, I haven't seen Corky since last week. I was on a show here, what was it, the other day, and she materialized to reveal Plonk once again. We were with Pretty here, and the youngsters were all doing their thing, and out of nowhere, Plonk and Corky materialized behind my vehicle. It was with Jandre the other day. I can't remember exactly when. Earlier this week. That's the last time I saw her. But I have a feeling there's possibly a second den maybe down the road here, which the other day we were about to go and investigate when all of a sudden out came all the hyenas. So we decided to stay where we were. So we never got to go and drive down and investigate if in fact there is a secondary den nearby. Because it would make sense for Corky and Plonk to have materialized from nowhere. That maybe he was being housed somewhere else, or maybe she's taking him on nice long walks. Hello, Rob. Corky is apparently the matriarch. She has got a very tattered left ear as well, similar to that of Pretty, but she's also got a little bit of an earring. She is the biggest in the family, and she is the matriarch for the time being anyway, and which means that her son, Plonk, should potentially be inheriting her status, but we're yet to see how that goes. Pretty, who was here before, is second in command. June here is right down on the bottom. She's the second, or she's the lowest ranking female, with two of the newest cubs. So Ribbon, who was here before, I think is third on the pecking order, and she has apparently got new ones, but I haven't seen them. Taylor mentioned seeing brand new little ones. There we go. There's E.T. He's going to play very rough with the little youngster. Sorry about my light, everybody. I don't want to have to reposition or start my car and cause them to move off. And Data, there's possibly another den. I really don't know. I mean, it's possible that there's a couple of dens nearby each other that they'll move to and from. It's something that maybe is a strategy hyenas employ for areas that get quite heavily flooded. One den could potentially get inundated with water, and it would necessitate having somewhere else nearby to go that is relatively safe. There we go. You'll see how the second in command's youngster is giving the lowest ranking female a bit of a hard time. She's not going to tolerate it. He now wants to have a bit of a suckle. Let's see if June actually allows it to. Major, well, you want to know about the dynamics, and well, if you want to know if the adults are affectionate towards each other, well, if you talk turning your genitals to each other's face and letting the other one smell and lick at their own will, affectionate, then most certainly they are the most affectionate mammals in the whole wide world. But there's huge dominance and hierarchy displays that take place amongst these animals, and by showing themselves their genitals, they are basically opening themselves up to a bit of a trust agreement, and basically saying, I trust you. And also, if they don't behave in a certain way, if they don't show some form of submissive behavior, or if they're a little bit too sort of uppity about themselves, then they will get disciplined very, very quickly and very aggressively. And it is a matter of moments. If, for example, June was approached by a Pretty before and she didn't lower her head or didn't do a toothy sort of smile, she might have got a bit of a beating right there and then in the moment. So it's all about knowing your place in hyena society, and as soon as you... Craig thinks he's just heard a leopard, everybody. Calling. I didn't hear it. I think that's maybe why they moved off, the youngsters. But as soon as a youngster, or as soon as a hyena doesn't do what they're supposed to do, it can very quickly turn to a very nasty show of sort of dominance. You don't often see it, but every now and again, when it does happen, it can be quite ugly. Quite ugly. And generally, the males are below the females. Natal males born into the den, usually ranking lower than ones brought in. Okay, well, we're having lots of fun here at the den site. Been having some difficulties with the Mara. That's why you're stuck with myself and Taylor this morning. We do hope that that's satisfactory for you. And I'm sure we'll be back with Taylor shortly, because I think she might have been lucky in finding something. I'm not sure what. The radio has been busy, but very busy in my ear as well. So I turned it down. So I don't know where she's going. Don't know what she's got for you. But I'm just also going to keep my ear open for this leopard that was potentially calling. And we might actually go and investigate, because we'd love to find a leopard. Raptors in the kitchen, what a fantastic name. You want to know how hyenas determine hierarchy? Sometimes it's birth. At birth, you inherit your rank from your mother, and sometimes you earn it through being just dominant. You can be physically fit, you can be stronger, you can be more aggressive. And basically, it's a show of defiance against someone bigger than you. It happened with Waffles up in the Mara. She's the matriarch there, or she was anyway. And she was apparently a low-ranking female who decided she'd had enough of living at the bottom, and she fought her way to the top. So if you have the strength and the sort of the nature to rise above your station, it does happen. But a lot of it's got to do with very, very physical confrontation. Big fighting, big aggression. That only has to happen once, and then the other animal that you dominated has learnt its place. But more often than not, animals stay low down in their ranking due to the fact that... Oh, hang on, who's that now? That is actually Ribbon on the other side. She's listening in the distance. I think we might go and investigate what this sound was. Craig, do you think it was coming from directly left of us, or a little bit more south? Okay, well, that is an area that Hukumuri likes to come in on, so we might go and investigate whatever it is that was calling, because, well, we can always come back here. But Craig heard a leopard calling. I didn't hear it because I was talking, but we'll drive around to this side, see what Ribbon is doing on that side, and then pop out of the den and go and see who this leopard might be. What do you think, Craigo?
Sounds good.
Okay, well, while we go and listen and find out what that is and have a little look at Ribbon on the other side on our way out, let's go over to Taylor and see where she's gotten to.
Well, interestingly enough that you've come back to us. Well, it's quite a surprise. No, I'm joking. So we found the elephants again. They were funny. Something has definitely upset them, because we drove far, far away down Triple M and we were sort of scanning, and then they came out onto the road again, far away, all huddled up, and they just ran for their lives. I did see some wild dog tracks around, so I don't know if they picked up on their scent or what the story was, but they didn't stop running. They were terrified. I don't know if it was us, but I said to Senzo, do you smell like a mussed bull maybe to an elephant, that they panicked and they ran away like that? I have no idea. Anyways, something disturbed them and they were not happy with us, so we just left them. Then I have to smack something because I'm so annoyed and frustrated right now. There is a pangolin on Nkoro. Can you believe it? And my friend Peter is not here. He went to a wedding, so I can't even phone him now to go during the day to go and see the pangolin. He better come back today. Those is going to be problems. Yeah, so I've already sent him a voice note and said, you need to come back today. Thank you very much, so that we can go and see. Oh, I can go and see that thing, because I have not ever seen one in my life. It's so sad and traumatizing. We're looking for Kuchava now, because we've got nothing else to do. No, I know the other animals want to show themselves. So we're just checking some of our favorite trees. What did you say to me, Emma? Say that again? Are you sassing me for no reason? I don't know, Emma shouted something at me and I thought it was me getting into trouble. It seems like it's not me getting into trouble. I thought they had said something I wasn't supposed to say because I got excited about the pangolin. Okay, Kuchava's not in this tree. Maybe she's in one of these other trees. We will keep looking though. Oi! On we go. Okay. Kuchava, where are you, Kuchava? She doesn't seem to be in any of her favorite trees. This is unusual. She's gone missing. Where is she gone? She's not allowed to leave this area. Why? How dare she? See, I think this is Taxon coming here now because I told him to, but I think I'll have to tell him that it's unfortunately on Encore or not where he can go. Anyways, we're going to carry on. I cannot believe this. Steve is having all the luck today. They've managed to find a leopard.
Well, there he is. Hukumuri, everybody, rolling in buffalo poo. Now, we just turned around the corner. I decided to take the Firebreak Road, and, well, he was right there. I actually had a bit of a shock myself. I might have said a word I'm glad I wasn't live for. But now he's moved behind our car, and there's very fresh buffalo droppings there with tracks moving into the property. And while he's lapping it up, rolling in it as well, because, you know, leopards do smell quite bad, and it's very common to see them rolling in the dung of other animals. I've seen them roll in elephant, rhino, and buffalo. And the tracks here seemingly of one buffalo bull. Well, he's going into the property, which is a good thing. It's very close here to the den, everybody. So he probably knows that they're there. Maybe he'll get chased by one of these adults, but I'm just going to give an update because there's a few people that were interested in coming. Our station Sukumuri is mobile north on Shabamo at the moment. I'm still with him because he could have gone that way and south and then it'll be gone. Very good. Well done, Craigo. There he walks. Just gonna... Oh, he's now going to have a bit of a drink, is he? After rolling in... Oh, we go. Scent marking. He's claiming this western side of Djuma for himself. He's now looking at the hyena den. This could always be interesting, folks, to see the interactions that go on in and around a den site. He is the one who found it for us. Let's go see if he's actually going to be willing to challenge. There's 3 adult females on site, so I don't think he's got any chance. Indigo girl, he is a magnificent specimen. Magnificent specimen. And even with his buffalo makeup at the moment. Okay, let me get around this side. I'm sure we're going to get him drinking. Need a little bit of a drink after buffalo scat, buffalo droppings. Oh, sorry, Craigo. Uh-oh. Sorry, everybody. Let's get around this side. Oh, he's just behind the grass there. Standing by, Tex. You're welcome. He's just drinking at that pan there by the Misikaya. No one's seen a leopard in years, it sounds like. I should have maybe given that a few moments, Craig? Sorry, Emma. I was busy chatting on the radio there. Okay, well, here he's had a bit of a drink now after lapping up his buffalo dung. He's going to walk right past us. He is such an amazing character. Really is nice to see him. Umu, well, if you could smell him, you would do the same. Leopards have a very, very bad odor, and by covering themselves in dung or in something that smells other than themselves, they actually mask themselves. They mask their smell to approaching herbivore or prey animals. So they do it as a sort of a perfume. A perfume, you could call it. Although it's not the nicest of perfumes. But we used to use very strange perfumes back in the day. A civetone, which comes from civets. Sorry about that. It was the worst turning circle I've ever had. So he's walking away from the den site now, which is a good thing. The adults are probably feeling quite nice, quite happy with themselves that they managed to fend off another predator. So by covering himself, he just masks a bit of that scent. He likes to... Lions do it, leopards do it. Any of you got a dog back home, they love to roll in something else's business. He's drooling a little bit. Tex is just on the road to Treehouse Dam now from Shabamo. So he's doing a bit of territorial movements. Craig heard him call, which means that he's on a proper I am here mission today. Let's quickly go before we lose our spot here. Very nice to see Hukumuri, isn't it? What does everybody think? Seeing Hukumuri up close like that. You got a good look at his face. Send a quick one-word tweet through to us if you will. What are your thoughts on seeing the Hulk this morning? After being with the hyenas there, how fortunate are we to suddenly just find this beautiful male? And now everybody send through a quick one-word tweet. Let us know, how does it make you feel looking into the gaze of the Hulk himself? I turned the corner and he was right next to me. Craig laughed at my response. Hey, Craig? Craig laughed at my... I was a bit shocked, and I might have said something that I'm really glad I wasn't live for. Okay, I'm just going to jump forward again. Morning, Abel. Okay, he's walking quite steadily. This is a nice sort of distance. Okay, just move up again on him here. We've got to practice something known as leapfrogging. Another vehicle has joined us, Abel, from the north. It's nice to sort of just position yourself so that everybody can get a look. People come from all over the world to see the leopards of Djuma. Is he going to go onto the termite mound? No. Yes, he is. No, he's not. Scent marking. A very nice sort of spot to do. We've noticed all our leopards that walk around always check termite mounds. So sort of a point of interest for them. Julie, you say intense. He does have a very intense feel about him, look about him. He's a very, very big leopard. He's a challenger to the dukedom of Tingana. And a serious threat to the little princess Tlalamba. Oh, here we go. He's going to do exactly what he does. You'll notice that cats, in the form of leopards and lions, do not use their scat at all for territory. They just drop it where they go. So, let me move up again. Try not to drive in that, because if I drive in that and then drive back into the hyena den, well, they'll never welcome me. Be truthful, he's not that far, actually, in fact. He's on the western side. The last time I had him, when he took me to the den site, he walked straight from quarantine down past Treehouse Dam and out, the way that we've just seen him go now, while that he's on at the moment. So there's a very good chance that is the same route he's about to travel. Sort of a demarcated area that with Tingana, who's kind of keeping more to the east. Definitely scent marking along the way here. This is exactly the route he took last time when we found the den. So he knows the den is there. He's happy to sort of bypass it. Harsh, or you say stylish. I suppose he is a very stylish cat, isn't he? A very pretty cat. Just going to have a vehicle come past us, and then we'll get around him and go onto Treehouse Dam side. He's about to come out there. Just say hello to Texan this morning. Good morning. You can go, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good, eh? There he is. Sure. They're all quite excited to see a leopard, Juma guests. And it's always nice to be able to share these sightings with other people, because obviously Texan and Rexon and Aubrey, whenever they're out, they also find animals for us. So that's what this lovely radio is for. We find animals, we call it in, and hopefully we can all get a nice view, which you know you've seen many, many animals over the years. We do find a lot of them ourselves. Do have a lot of them ourselves. Just before we go to Taylor, sorry Craig, I just want to show you his track over here, just over my shoulder. There we go, fresh leopard tracks, everybody. There they are. And you can see his front foot is over here, back foot's there. He's walking just faster than a walk. So just on that sort of medium-paced, territorial sort of, what would you say? Locomotion. Anyway, well, we're going to try get around Treehouse Dam, try get another position to view him. And while we do that, let's go back over to Taylor McCurdy and see exactly what she's up to.
The same, just, you know, still talking lots of nonsense. Senzo and I are not having much luck today, but that's fine, Steve. You take the reins on this one. We believe in you. So we're going to come and scratch around and see if Tlalamba's about. I don't know where Steve checked until, but we'll go and have a look at the tree that she was sitting in yesterday, just to see if she hasn't gone back there. She's a funny little cat. She obviously feels quite comfortable walking up and down the same route, so maybe she's done that. Or if Hukamori has come from here, she also may have vacated the area, because I don't think she wants to cross paths. Boy. Every time I think of Hukamori, I think of that song, "The boys are back in town, Hukamori's back in town." I don't know why I always have that in my head, but it's very cool. I mean, when last did I see Hukamori? It's probably quite a long time ago. Maybe, I don't know, I'm just speculating now. So I'm... Whoop! Goodness. For this cat, can turn the radio off now, because I think everyone just wants to go to the Hukamori sighting, as they should. What? If I was Tlalamba, what would I be doing right now? Senzo, what would you be doing if you were Tlalamba? Eating a scrub here, says Senzo. I would be climbing the tallest tree. Big one. Testing my skills. Jumping from branch to branch. But I don't know if that's going to be happening today, so we'll just keep going very slowly around here. She likes this area. I suppose it's quite nice for her. There's probably lots of food around, except I don't know if she realizes if she keeps hanging around on the same animal pathway, the animals will eventually figure out that she's now living here and they won't stay. They'll also just move away. But I suppose she's young, inexperienced. She's got a lot to learn still. Okay. We're almost coming up to that tree. We've just got a little way to go. And then I'll drive up to the tree, because so you can really hide away if you're a leopard in that tree. I mean, when we drove past, we only saw her as we went round the bend. I'm glad you're all enjoying my music today. It's good. I don't know why I'm having such bad luck with animals. Elephants don't want to be seen by me. Leopards don't want to be found. Pangolins still evading me. Oh my goodness, Senzo, there is an oxpecker drinking water right now. Try not to lose your mind. But this is super cool. Look, it's just there. Don't... No! Why? Why? What have I done wrong? You see? Do you see my luck today? Oh, well, whatever, oxpecker. Silly animals. I'm going to go and be a librarian because the books won't be able to run away from me. I think that's like the safest job in the world. Okay, let us check the tree. Senzo, we're going to scan. We're going to look inside. Tlalamba. Come out, wherever you are. This is the tree that Tlalamba was in yesterday, but she doesn't look like she's in it at the moment. I can't see a tail dangling or a face peering back at us. Can you, Senzo? Nah. It's a nice tree, though. Nice termite mound on a drainage line. I mean, this is prime property. She could be disguised as one of the branches. That is true, Emma. Okay, well, we haven't seen her, so we shall carry on. I know she went towards Twin Dams last night, so let's just check. But I feel like Hukumuri has come charging on through there. We did see male leopard tracks coming from Chitwa, then going on to Cheetah Cut Line, and then obviously sort of, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's probably Hukumuri's tracks. He's just doing his rounds, because he's been very busy lately with Moya. Moyo. One of the two. I don't know that leopard. I'm just... Maybe she's moved on to another tree. Trying to think, Senzo, where did we have her though? She went up the Mulwati the last time, so maybe we must go into the Mulwati and just check a little bit. Try and figure out her exact route. We'll check. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe just before drive wraps, we'll get an animal. Well, that's hopefully what will happen. Have a drink of that little pan of water. And all the clouds have come over now too. That's bizarre. I thought we were going to have a nice hot day. So sorry, you can't go back to Hukumuri just yet because they're going through dodgy. Ooh, Senzo, watch those sticks there. Those are spike ones. Hukumuri has decided to lead Steve on a route that's not sort of too favorable. So we're going to stay with me. Make it entertaining for you. Camera for you today. I'm so glad Brent is. I'm going to challenge. And then I would have failed. I would not have been one thing. I would have lost. I would have 0 birds. Even I just can I count on a bird challenge? Sorry, the gremlins got me, and then you hear what I was talking about. That voice that I was doing, and him challenging me to me not find birds. So there we go. Sorry, well, I thought it was quite a funny story, but no, you didn't get it. Probably call him now on every minute. You missed out, hey? It's a tuck up. Well, could be taxes. I don't know. We can find like a black collared. Oh no, nothing's coming for me. I don't want to show you any.
Okay, welcome back everyone. We're just trying to relocate on Hukumuri. It's just over here, I think. No, I'm trying to just catch up with Texan. Can you see him, Craigo? Further that way. Just trying to get through this little thick patch. Hold on, everybody. Can get rather bumpy. Ow. And thorny as well. He moved in off the road. And we went around to see if we could catch him coming out the other side. Oh, that's not going to work. And I think he's trying to hunt a warthog now, in a warthog burrow just around the corner. Just going to try push through here. Be truthful, he's not taking us on a wild goose chase per se. He's just, he's gone into the thickets. And, well, we've got to try and get in there. And sometimes that can be quite tricky. Just a stump here that I've got to get over. And sometimes the four-wheel drive capabilities of these cars can get tested to the limit, which is what's happened right now. Oh, very good. I'm stuck on a log. Don't worry, everybody. We will get out of it. Oh, there we go. There's just a branch hanging on the side of the car here. Yes, indeed, it is quite challenging, Emma. So while we try and get through this area here without breaking the car, let's go back over to McCurdy, wherever she might be.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's been such a long time since I last saw you. Hey, my friend. Is there going to be something in this wallow? No. Nothing. Yeah. Okay, cool. What are we going to do? Maybe we'll find some insects. I think we're going to have to literally start looking for insects now. We have to pretend we're on bushwalk because I can't find anything in the vehicle. Please let there be something on a blade of grass here. Even a hyena pasting. That'd actually be fantastic. Nope. Nothing. Nothing here. I'm concentrating everyone, so I'm not going to look back at camera because as you can see, I'm quite desperate to find your content because I don't think I put anything on screen today except elephants running away, a bird nest, and what else, Sensor? Oh no, we looked at the birds at the dam, at Vuyatela Dam, and I really feel like that's about it. That is the extent of my safari today. It's the best one I've ever had. Sensor, you're looking for insects for me, to help me. You can see a spider. Where? Show me this spider. It's crawling on the camera. Okay, so you all want me to repeat the brain story. Okay, no, it's not going to be funny the second time, though, guys. It's, oh, look at an impala. Let's stop here and look at the impala while I tell you the brain story. So, where do I begin? It's a very short story. I was just saying that because of my horrible luck today, luckily Brent isn't here, because otherwise he most likely would have challenged me to a birding competition, and then I did Brent's voice. I'm not going to do it again. You heard me doing Brent's voice, but I basically said that in Brent saying, let's do a birding competition, and then I would be able to show you nothing. And then I said something along the lines of eggs counting. It would be funny, yes, if Brent popped out of the bushes. Maybe that is Brent. Maybe that's not an impala. Are you Brent? Brent Leo Smith? Is that you? Okay, flick your ear once if that's you. And you've now been you shape-shifted into an impala. We can help you. We'll get the sangoma. No? It did. Did you just see it moved its left? There we go. Left ear twitched once. It's Brent. I don't know what we're going to do. Brent is now trapped inside an impala. If anybody knows the sangoma, please contact us on 0800. And I'm just joking. We don't have a landline. Freaky Friday, freaky Sunday. It is Brent. He's calling for help now. I don't know how we're going to get him out of there. Somebody tag Brent and we're going to tag you on Twitter. Will that help? Must be really annoying with all those flies on his head, though. This is not really Brent Leo Smith, unfortunately, everybody. As great as what that would be, that is actually just an Impala ram. Emma, you're very funny. Emma's hilarious, don't you think? Have a round of applause, please. Please send applauding emojis and then tag Emma. Emma, you don't even have a Twitter account. You should get one. I think we should create you one. Okay, bye, Brent Leo Smith, the Impala. Okay. Now we carry on looking for insects. Why am I going so fast? I'll never find them this way. I'd like to find a jumping spider nest. There was one in camp. I might have to go back to camp. You're not allowed to say lol. You can't type the word lol. You've got to do ha 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 ha. Or, if you're Ali, then you laugh in Spanish. And you go, yeah, 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 yeah. And he always sends that to me. And I could die. Oh, it's so funny. She just sends J-A, 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 J-A. Yeah, 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 yeah. I learned a new word. I learned a new word the other day. Because I saw Ali and her mom, was it yesterday? No, it was 2 days ago. And we had lunch. It was nice. And then I learned a new word for a lantern in Spanish. It's like, oh, no, I forgot. Should we, let's voice note Ali. Let's send Ali a voice note. Let us switch the vehicle off. Let's see. Let's type her name in. You all love it when we do this. Ali. Hi, Ali. You're live on SafariLive right now. I have a question for you. What was that fantastic Spanish word for lantern? You have to reply immediately. On here, and I think all the viewers say hello. Say hello? Yes. All the viewers say hello. Sensible, do you say hello? Sensible given a thumbs up. Okay, thanks. If you could get back to me ASAP. Bye. Because I'm lazy. If you know me personally, you know that I don't have time to type a text message. You'll just ask me, Taylor, what you doing today? And then I'll send you a 5-minute voice note of my plans. It's probably, I think everyone gets really annoyed. I love doing it to James. It's my favorite thing to voice note James because he doesn't like it. If you're wondering also again why we're not with Hukamori, it's because Steve is trying to catch up to him, but he's being lured through some serious terrain. So I'll entertain you in the meantime. I'm like that the commercial. Those really long ones you just want to end, but they never do. And just when you think it's going to end, it carries on. There's another one. That's me right now. Sorry, everybody. Then there was something else I was going to tell you. And then my favorite. I don't know if the rest of the world uses WhatsApp, but it's a big thing in South Africa. And Jamie's trying to get hold of me. I'm going to call you now. I have to tell you one thing, though. Then what was I going to say to you? Oh, and then my favorite is when people voice note you and they go, hi, it's Samantha. And I'm just like, I know it's you. Why are you telling me who you are in the voice note? Jamie. I'm on one of the Inyala roads, but I can't remember. I think I'm Inyala Road South. I will be there shortly. Thank you very much. Lovely day. Okay. Jamie's just given us some information. We're going to information our way all the way to Buffelshoek Dam for a surprise. Lots of hyena tracks. They have been very, very busy. Right, so yeah, I was the surprise once. I don't even think I know her. Do I know Samantha? Samantha? Maybe I know. I don't know why I use the name Samantha. Just think of random. Normally, I thought it would have been Susan or something like that. Anyways, we're just going to slowly make our way towards Buffelshoek Dam and see what's waiting there. We'll find Jamie and Rusty, so that will be good. Wave to them. We'll just casually keep looking around here. Oh, squirrel! Where'd you even come from? Underneath the car? There's a squirrel. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because it's probably going to run away. There it goes. What were you thinking? Why would you run next to the car like that? It's dangerous. Adrenaline junkie squirrel, that one. Buck, I'm glad that you're enjoying this infomercial. Now we've got a squirrel that's leaping around, so we can add that to the 3 other things that we've seen today, which is awesome. Oh, very busy. I don't think it knows what it's doing. It must be nuts. Hilarious. What you doing? This is my surprise, everybody. Look at it. It's so funny. Look at its tail. That's what I feel like. Squirrels are just dancing all the time. Not like me, though. I think they shake their tail. Do random things. Okay. Still looking for a jumping spot, everybody, on our Woods Buffelshoek Dam. Also, I've got Christmas carols in my head this morning. In case you're wondering what tune was going on inside my head, it's just Christmas songs. I don't know why. I don't know if I had a dream about Christmas last night. Who knows? Okay, I'm still searching, everybody. I found a spider, I think. Back it up. Nope. Isn't. It's not a spider. False alarm. Too soon to panic. Okay, I've got a job for all of you who are watching. Let's get this chat interactive, because you're not asking enough questions today, I'm just saying. So, I would like to know from you, what are the most annoying things that the presenters say all the time? What are our most annoying catchphrases? You know, let rip. Let's go with this. So hashtag SafariLive or comment on the YouTube chat. It can be anyone. It doesn't just have to be me. I mean, I'd prefer it if it wasn't me and all the other presenters. I think it would be quite funny to find out what are each presenter's most annoying catchphrases. Let's go. It's going to be about... Yeah. Does anyone remember that Red Riding cartoon from Cartoon Network? I can't remember what it's called. There's a tune where she carries her basket.
Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about Taylor's signal there. We've managed to catch up with Hukumuri, and he caught a porcupine while we didn't see. He's busy munching away at it now. All the spines falling out of his face as he's eating. So that's very cool to see. Not for the porcupine, of course. He's just here in the thickets. In a moment, we're going to keep quiet and see if we can hear the crunching that's going on. Not an easy thing to catch a porcupine. Firstly, the quills are designed to maim you, blind the animal. Unfortunately, this is the best view we have for the moment, everyone. Very dense block. There's no way we would have found him if Texan hadn't managed to stay with him. Right here, Tex's vehicle now is just trying to get out. very dense bush. Here we go. There we go. Propped his head out there. Can you see it? Wow. Well, everyone. Most certainly caught himself a porcupine. Painted wolf, it is definitely a risky kill. You don't see young leopards successfully catching porcupines. There's a trick, there's a skill to it, and you also have to be confident enough to go in to be able to catch that animal without those quills penetrating you in your eyes. There we go. Clearly didn't. We got one in the face, the right of his cheek there. But I remember once seeing a young male lion kill a porcupine. He did it very easily. He wasn't intimidated by it. He just went in very quickly for the kill. And he ate it by himself. And as he was eating, the quills were just falling one by one out of his face, which is quite something. But to be protected like that, you need to probably taste very, very good. There's a big strap of fat along the back of a porcupine that houses most of those quills. You'll often find lion or leopard really, really enjoying that bit. And that's where all the quills grow out of. So the base of the quill, just like normal hairs, a little bit softer at the base. So you can quite easily eat that fatty part with some of the fibre of the hair as well. Because that's all the quill is really. It's just modified hair designed to protect the animal, and in this case it has failed horribly. Sorry that this is the view we've got, folks, but this is the way it is out here. There's a wild leopard. We made a porcupine quill. We did miss it, unfortunately. But all we can do is watch, and maybe he'll come out more. Maria, he most certainly caught it. He was apparently looked at a termite mound, and I didn't see it. All I know is that Texan was telling me on the radio that he was busy trying to hunt something, and I thought he'd said warthog, but I didn't understand the word on the radio, in fact, and it was porcupine. So he definitely hunted it, caught it, and that's why he's got quills in his face, because of that. Gregor, you think we get a better view if I reposition? Yeah. Let's just try and move a little bit more around here. Now that Abel's also gone. A little bit tricky with two vehicles in the sighting there to get any closer. It's just in here, underneath this fallen tree. I don't think it's going to be any better. Tell me, Craig. He's in there, everybody. Another benefit to the environment from elephants, pushing over these trees, creating these nice thickets that obviously allow not only scrub hares to hide and small birds, but also large leopards to feed on their quarry. Sarah, they can eat the quills, but the sharp part of the quill is quite painful. I mean, it is just hair, really. I mean, hair's not very tasty. It doesn't give you any nutrition. Quite difficult to digest. But you do find quills in leopard scat from time to time, because a lot of the quills, when they are fresh and young, hear the bones. When the quills are fresh and young, they're quite soft, and so it's quite easy to actually eat them. But the long, sharp ones are generally left alone due to the fact that, well, they're long and sharp. But there's no added benefit in eating the quills. Just like leopards plucking fur out of animals, it's the same story. They'll try and pluck the quills, but just like they get fur in their diet, they'll still get some quills as well. And I've found leopard scat before. We're loaded with small quills because it's not digestible. It just comes out the other end. Sorry, it's not the best visual, everybody. There's a male leopard there. I might just reposition one more time, see if we can get a better view of him. Do you think back a little bit might be better, Craig? Okay. Just going to go back just slightly. Tell me when you're happy. Okay, well, there's the bottom of the porcupine. Slightly forward. There we go. That's the best view we're going to be able to offer you for the moment, everybody. Really enjoying that. Now we're just going to keep quiet for a moment and let you listen to the sound of a departing Land Cruiser, and then while you hear also the crunching of the bones. I'm just going to give this one moment. Everybody, if you're sensitive, this porcupine was probably dispatched very, very quickly by this leopard, and nothing is going to be wasted as part and parcel of what happens out in nature. And let's just listen. So an animal the size of a porcupine, pretty much most of its body will be able to get crushed up and eaten. You won't find too much left. It's all you find really out in the bushes, just the remainders of quills. Not often you find much more than that. Moving, everybody. Maybe he's going to hoist it for us. Let's see where he goes. That's a big porcupine, eh? Okay. Here we go. Ooh. He's going to choose somewhere a little bit more private, perhaps. Turning circle today is not very good. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, this hyena has just materialized with an enormous wound on his head. Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to try and keep up with Ukumuri because this hyena is going to come and try and steal his kill. That's a proper wound on your head there, sir. What happened to you? Keep our eyes peeled. Where did he go? Brenda, that was some pork crackling right there. Oh no. Just like that, everybody. It can disappear. Where did he go? Okay, well, I'm just going to listen, see if I can hear him somewhere around here. Went off that way, eh, Craigo? Can hear him. Can hear him. Well, that's the area we were in before. How are we going to get there? Anyway, we're going to have to try and make our way through here. Once again, it's quite tricky. There we go. So everyone, that was apparently Causa, a male hyena. And there Hukumuri has hoisted his kill. That's what they do in response to hyenas approaching. We're going to see if we can get around there in a moment. Obviously, we don't want to miss any of the action. I'm going to stay here for the time being. Unless you think in here was a good idea, Craig. Okay, we're going to have to link in a moment, Emma, if that's at all possible. Just need to sort out some things on the camera here. I'm trying to just get a nice position for everybody. Sorry, Craig. There he is. Okay, well, we're going to have to try and frame him up, but we do need to move away for a moment, if you don't mind. We're just having a bit of a thing with the camera, Emma, if that's all right. Be back with us shortly. Let's go back over to Taylor.
Well, hi everybody. The surprise has disappeared. The surprise was Tingana mating with that very skittish female that we've seen before. I've seen them mating, I think it was September, October last year. So we're just trying to see if we can get another view of them. They're very nervous. We're not going to off-road after them, but Tingana got up and moved further down into this drainage line, and now we can't see him at all. I mean, the view we had of him was nothing, you know, spectacular. We could just sort of see spots. We could just make out that there was a leopard there. But now I don't know where he's taken her or she's taken him. It was somewhere in here, but now we can't see anything, I'm afraid, which is a disaster. Well done to Jamie and Rusty, though. They said they were just sitting at Buffelshoek Dam and they heard them mating. So that's very cool. But they are in there somewhere. It's just obviously very hard with it being summer and the vegetation being so wonderful and lush. Means that the cats can hide away fairly easily. Aww. That's a pity. She does come out eventually, though, but the problem is we can't even see Tingana anymore. And he's the one that we'd be relying on. Senzo, I don't know what to do now. Because I don't want to frighten them. I don't want to off-road. I just want to sit here and wait. But we can't sit and wait forever. Brian, you've said Tingana's here. What? Yeah. Tingy Banana is here. He mated with Tundi, and now he's mating with another leopard. Well done, boy. He's still got it, even in his sort of old age. But I haven't heard anything since I've been here, so I don't know when the last time they mated. I think Jamie just heard them mate once. Oh, Wingston! I've missed you, Wingston. Come to me. It's Wingston Churchbill. No, he's gone in front of the car. Wingston. Can you see him your side, Senzo? He's coming. He's going this way. There he is! Quickly, show everyone. Hi, Wingston. Look, he thinks he gets food, but he doesn't. Ha 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 ha. Tricked. There's Wingston, everybody. At least we've got someone to keep us company. Off you go. Back to Steve Ovo and Hukumuri's up in the tree.
Well, everybody, we've managed to get around a little bit. He's in the tree, and I've just gotten a little bit stuck again in the hole as I was trying to get out in front of him. So we're just going to have to stay here for a moment so that I don't make too much noise while you are with us. He's up in the tree now, a beautiful porcupine. Very nice to see him up in the tree. Craig was just getting a really nice shot the porcupine's bottom a moment ago, but I do apologize for now suddenly sliding into a little bit of a hole. And unfortunately, to get out of it is going to make all sorts of noise, which will really make everybody a little bit upset. So I do apologize for the visuals right now. When I do get out of this hole, I will position for you in a place where you can get some wonderful screenshots. For now, we're looking at them through a guarri bush. Okay, well, while we try and reposition for you so you can get a really nice picture of this beautiful leopard in the tree, let's go back up to Taylor around Buffelshoek Dam.
Riding and looking, but I'm going to stall the car. I've just come to check again if we can't see them in here. Pulling funny faces today, sorry. As you can see, we're driving on an interesting incline. Come out, leopards, come out. So they were just sitting down where you can see that sort of sandy patch. That's where they were. Well, I could see one leopard. And now they've gone sort of from there and off to the right into a crazy thicket, which we will never be able to get into. So they obviously want a bit of privacy. I don't blame them. Okay, let us go and summon Winston again. I will reverse out of here, Senzo. I have to reverse out of here because if I try to climb this one section, I know what's going to happen is I'm going to spin the tires and then the leopard's going to run away. So we'll just go back out the way we came. Can you see her? Love, Hope, Faith. Oh, they're so far away from one another, the two big male leopards, Tingana and Hukumori. We're at Buffelshoek Dam. I have no idea where Steve is, but he was at Treehouse Dam, which is very far away. They're like on two opposite sides of the reserve. Winston, I saw you fly into a tree. Come out. Let us stop here and pretend we're going to have sundowners for morning tea and coffee. Winston, where'd you go? Winston. I don't know if Winston responds to being called. Let me go around here. We will show you Snorkel Sarah and Scuba Steve in a minute. Oh. Winston maybe will fly back to us, but Snorkel Sarah and Scuba Steve are holding their breaths at the moment. I'm still going to look longingly for Winston so that he comes back, because that's a cool animal. I'm also now going to sit back and relax. So the ripples in the water are because of the hippo. There they are. Hi, hippos. And they'll probably go underwater very quickly again. So this is where the animals sort of come on honeymoon, apparently, is at Buffelshoek Dam, the lake house. If only there was a little house here, that would be great. Nope, no one is cooperating today. Senzo, what is that bird? Are those water thickneys? On the edge there, just above where the hippos are, there's two birds. Yes. Hello. Wonderful. Well, at least we got to have a look at a different type of bird this morning. Off we go back to Steve, who has unstuck himself, luckily, further preventing himself from becoming the new Marshmallow King.
We unstuck. Unfortunately, just what happens sometimes. If you go through a little dip at the wrong angle, one wheel sort of gets off the floor, and then it gets a bit tricky. And you need a little bit of power to get out, and, well, it's never the nicest of sounds, but we haven't influenced him at all. He is up the tree, enjoying his porcupine, whose face you can actually see right there. So he started with the shoulder, which is very interesting. Leopards generally start with the stomach and the rump of these animals, of normal animals. You can see some quills still sticking out of his face. And that is a reason why he hasn't started with the rump. He'd rather eat it from the inside, because the quills are just a nuisance, really. And he can pluck some of them out, but just painstaking. Very, very red meat. Not sure what happened to the hyena. Causa was here for a moment. I think he realized Hokomori's gone up the tree, and now he's gone off. But the mark on his face almost looked like a claw mark. Didn't look like a bite of any sort. Definitely was a bit of a claw. Something hit him on the face. It is indeed a large porcupine, Emma. I mean, just seeing how Hokomori was dragging it. It might also have been the fact that there's quills, and he was being a little bit tentative around dragging the quills, so he didn't get it in his belly. But very fresh. See, it's still bleeding, so not for the faint of heart, everybody. If this is not your sort of thing. It's getting into the internal organs now. He's about to get what might be the stomach there. Consulting detective, I reckon they do. I reckon they are very, very tasty, hence why they protect themselves the way they do. I mean, if anything's willing to get past those defenses to kill it, there must be something worthwhile inside. It's not like a civet that gives off a chemical smell or tastes bad. And once you do catch them, you realize that it really wasn't worth the effort. Or honey badger that just fights and fights and fights until you give up hope. Porcupine, once you get past the defenses of the quills, a treat is in store for you. His stomach, I wonder if he's going to pop it. He's eating all around the stomach chamber now. That's the bloated stomach there inside, just next to his teeth. There's that sort of greenish bulge. Don't pop it, please. He's going to pop it with one of its porcupine's own quills. He's a messy eater. Very, very messy. And a very tricky block. Everybody's getting into all sorts of trouble trying to join me in here. I don't feel that bad. I've never been in this block as well as we have today. I'm going to choose not to again. Hey, Craig? It's been a fun experience. We've been semi-stuck twice. But obviously now that he's up in the tree with the kill in a much better position than he was before, everybody wants to come back, which is the way with these sightings. He's sitting, Kari's sitting there. His one leg is dangling, sitting on the branch. Whitney, I think apparently he stuck his head in a hole and the porcupine came running out. So it is a nocturnal animal, or crepuscular. He's trying to pull out some quills. There we go, he got one. They are crepuscular, so they could also be seen in the early morning. But there's a good chance that he stuck his head in a hole and it basically responded. And it made the worst decision ever, and that was to run out into the drooling arms and face of Hokomori, who now we know for sure is a porcupine hunter. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do with this porcupine, where he's going to put it. He's ascertaining whether it's going to fall down. Some off-road driving at its best happening here. He's going to clean himself. Still got a couple quills in the side of his face there. A couple in his leg. You see the bottom there. Yep. So not an easy meal, and a very risky thing to catch. But the reward clearly must be worth more than the danger. But those quills do have the potential to blind the animal, also have the potential to fester in wounds in the body. And down he comes. Dory Kumari is a drooler. That's what he does. He drools, drools, drools. I'm just going to let Texan know that he's just come down the tree. Tex, he's just come down now. He's up in the tree here on my left, but he's just come down. Texan's coming back to get a better view. And now he's left. Now he's going to go back into the drainage, where we got a little bit stuck before. 2 times, actually, we went to the same drainage and we got a little bit stuck. Don't think we want to go back down there. But we're going to have to just turn around real quick. Going to have one more look over here, and then we're going to leave the sighting, as there is a lineup of people waiting to come in and see this. Consulting detective, that is a very big warthog. Very big warthog. I'm concentrating too much here, consulting detective. That is a very big porcupine. Okay, well, he's in the thickets underneath there, so I'm going to allow other vehicles to come in. We're going to make our way out of here. We're going to make our way out of here. So we give people some space. And we've had some fun. We've had some fun. Next stations, I'm going to be moving out. Space for one. He's down from the tree. I think the sightings that we had with him are now going to be gone. And while we try and navigate this horrible area once again, let's go back over to Taylor and see if she's found a signal spot.
Yeah, I feel like that's all I'm good at these days. If you're wondering why I've got my mobile device out, I'll show you in a minute. But I'm basically creating a hyperlapse of the straightest road in the Sabi Sand, which is Buffelshoek boundary. We're going back down it again. Just, I don't know why, just because we had to leave the leopards because there was nothing, there was no sounds. They were hiding away from us. It was a disaster. So, yeah, we're just going to try our luck here. Okay, I'm almost ready. I just want to get to the top. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to show you all. Looks really cool. And it's a really cool app, actually, because it, like, stabilizes everything. It makes it look like you've been using a GoPro, which I'm not. Just fool everybody. Okay, once you get to this tree, it's going to be so nice. And then I'm going to stop it. Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That last second always takes a little bit longer in South Africa. It's apparently got something to do with the humidity. I don't know why I can speak so much nonsense. Right, let's slow it down a little bit. Not too slow, though. 20 seconds. That's perfect. That's about the right amount of time. Now we let it load, and then I shall show you. Ali also replied, but I'll tell you about what she said in a minute. Okay. Here we go. Emma's impressed with the way that I can create content. Yes, thank you. I can do anything, not really. Excuse the cracks on my screen, but you all shouldn't be surprised. Sorry, since I'm trying to hold it. I drop my phone regularly. Is that not a nice angle? What's the best angle? Like that. Okay, ready? There we go. Done! Did you like my background music? I'm going to add that in. And I had to end with a Christmas song there, of course. Right, so that was my video that I just made, which is so cool. It's such a nice road. It looks professional, done by an unprofessional. The word for lantern in Spanish is lamparita, lamparita. It's such a cool word. It means little lamp. And I was just like, why do we bother with the word lantern? How boring. I mean, I don't know. I quite like that word, so I will be using that for the rest of my nights. My lights? No, my life. Oh, goodness. All I'm saying is that I'm exhausted. I've spoken so much about, berries. About absolutely nothing. Senzo, are you hungry? I am. Did you not pack a snack this morning? Let us eat the fruit from the white berry bush. I'm climbing up. Oh, it feels so nice. Am I allowed to stretch? Oh, this is such a good stretch. You get so cramped up in these cars. I'm going to eat the berries. Senzo, there's not enough for you, I'm afraid. They're not that great either. These ones are not super ripe. So just stopping for a quick snack, a white berry bush, which is lovely. Also looking for some insects. So good. Oh, these are going to be nice. There's now bumblebee here too. Where did it go? It stopped making a noise to land on me. Can't put that one in my mouth. But where did the bumblebee bit go? Because it stopped making a sound. And I feel like it's on me. That would have been cool to see. It was a beautiful one. It was yellow and black. Okay, I can't find it anymore. And caterpillars? No? Not just some ants. Nothing exciting in the bushes, yeah. Okay, had my snack, ready to go. Refueled. They're really not that nice. Not today. Normally they're super delicious. Okay. We shall carry on. Lamparita, lamparita. It's a very cool word. Elijah, you said they kind of look like apples. Okay. Yeah. African pygmy apples. African pygmy apples, because they're so small. They're tiny, the little white berry fruits. But they can get a little bit bigger than that, and then they're super juicy and tasty. What else can we eat? What are we going to eat next? Senzo? What do you want to eat next? Which fruit? The square raisin. The devil thorns. I wouldn't eat. I'm not Steve, I'm Taylor. No, if you didn't realize that, no. I'm not going to make any concoctions this morning out of devil's thorn. Ah, goodness. No, we'll leave that up to Steve. Right. What are we going to do next? So I'm trying to think of what we can look at next. We have to stop. We have to do the grass check. Quality control. Sweetie Kid, yes, it could be a musical Safari Live, except then you'd want James, because James can actually sing. Or Faith. Faith has got the voice of an angel. She sings really well. Senzo does great opera, so if you ask Senzo really nicely, he might do some opera for you. Would you, Senzo? What are you going to sing? There's a long story, guys. Senzo's going to sing a song that was sung by the three brothers. Yes, continue. Is that it? Okay, go. That's crazy. Okay, go. Tell us. Sing it. If I had a rose to throw, I'd throw a rose at you. Well done, Senzo. That was beautiful. There we go, everybody. Songs by Senzo. It was really good. It was fantastic. I don't have any flowers to throw at him, unfortunately. I can't find any. If I was on quarantine, I could. I'm not going to throw the foxglove at him because they don't smell very nice. So I think that would be an insult. Yeah, so, we're just going to drive and check some roads and things, and hopefully we can find something. Otherwise, we just entertain. You have some answers. You have answers for me. What question? Oh, I asked a question about what are the most annoying things that we as presenters say. Yes, Emma, please tell me all of them. I'm going to turn the radio up for this. I hear them properly. Oh, of course, the dove is going to fly away. Dory, you said it annoys you when we say alas over and over again. Okay. I don't think that's me, though. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah, I also get annoyed when people say that. Even Senzo. These people, hey? And their limited vocabulary. What else do we have? Mary, when you said when James says magic, or when Tristan says sort of, I'm going to tell them, Mary, that you said that. So you what that Mary had to say. No, I'm just, I will tease about that. Any on me. I like things. Like I said, I like to know when I annoy people most of the time. Tolerance for me. They're not saying bad things about me. Every single one. You have nothing bad to say about me? I probably I'm paying myself. Oh my gosh, it seems as though we're losing signal. I don't know why I've turned into an old man, but off we go back to Steve now, who's probably still with Okamori.
Well, you're back with us, everybody, and we've out of that sighting eventually, after a few bumps and scratches and bruises. Now we're just going to drive around a little bit and see what we can find. Take it nice and slow. That was a very intense couple of hours. And now we're just going to take it easy, aren't we, Craig? Like Senzumkiza, take it easy. That's it. Just bumble around and just catch our breath after all of that. Lovely morning. Not for the porcupine, of course, but indeed for Hukumuri. We left him at the base of the tree. Not very good visual. Everyone's vying to get in there. So it's a good time to just move out and give everyone else an opportunity. So wonderful to see Hukumuri, and wonderful to see him on the property. There's a very good chance he'll be in that same spot this afternoon. Whoever it wants to go in there. It'll probably be a nice two-track by this afternoon, but wow, that was quite an area to get into. And we'll probably do with a bit of a fire control burn in there this year. Really long grass hiding all of the logs on the floor. Jamie, he wasn't too much of a mission, I suppose. He just did his thing. Just getting in there was tricky. He didn't go very far, which is a good thing. And imagine if we'd gotten in there and then he moved. At least he moved in front of us and then hoisted that kill. So I think we got the best of it. Jackson, who found him making the kill, he came back in right at the end there once he was back on the ground. So unfortunately for him, his guests didn't get to see him looking all bloodied and battle-hardened and satisfied up in the tree, like you all did, which we're happy we were able to show. Let's see how camouflaged is this animal. Oh, hello. Very nice to see. A couple kudus over here on the left. The kudu stands very still, hoping Hukumuri doesn't pick up their scent. We are going to take you back over to Taylor, who's managed to find some feathered animals.
we have on there. Look at the babies. Look at their little crested Franklin chicks. How cute are they? There's only 2 of them, though, which is sad. Oh, they're so precious. So precious. Oh, there they go. Well, at least we got to show you something, so that was quite nice. Only 2 of them, which is surprising. I thought that maybe there would have been a few more, but anyways, they don't lay that many eggs, but I would say on average maybe about 6, maybe a little bit more than that. Okay, so now we're at the time where I should do a tour with you, because we come all the way down towards the gate. Hopefully we don't lose signal. We shall try our best. But the birds left us. We're now driving towards Gallery Gate. Should we go and say hello to security? Hello, security. Let's go see if Spike, the anti-poaching dog, is there. He's really cool. Not to poachers, though. Doesn't like that. Though. I catch him, boy. Waving in. This is the exit. Look how nice the gate is. It's beautiful, don't you think? You see, I'm going to walk. I'll demonstrate. See, go for a little walk. This is the exit. There's some nice restroom facilities here too if you need to use the bathrooms. I have to put my fingerprint if I want to get out. There's also a gate there. We've got pot plants. I mean, look at this. Look at the detail. Look at this. So nice. Okay, coming back now. I'll get back in the car, I'll behave. We're inside there, probably like, what on earth is going on? I'm being watched. I'm going to be on the hit list now. Hi, nice man. Meow. Okay, that was the gate. Buffalo weavers. There's a buffalo weaver. We can look at that. Collecting nesting material, nesting in the tower. Look at what they do. Now I can show you. Top Mon, you said you've never seen that before. There we go. That's how we get in and out. This is Senzo's favorite thing. Senzo has once had to pull out all old nesting material to try and climb to the top of a tower. So, unfortunately, the buffalo weavers have not chosen a very good spot to nest. They might think it's great because it's on a sturdy structure. However, when any repairs need to be done on those satellite dishes, it becomes a bit of a problem. And the buffalo weavers like to use sticks with lots of thorns on. Hey, Senzo, it's their favorite for protection. Anyways, so that's obviously not ideal. I don't know if I understood what you just said to me, Emma. You have to maybe say it again. See, there's no line tracks here. They just come in and then they don't go out. I don't know where they are. I'm just quadruple checking. Hello. Does anybody else like to make people feel awkward? I don't know if it's just me, but I love to make people feel uncomfortable and awkward. Not in a bad way, but just like weird. Actually, I live for it. It's my favorite thing, especially when there's new people around camp and they don't know me. Then I can hear mongoose. Should I try call them out? Look, this is one of the things that I do that annoys all of you. You turn the ambience up, you can hear them. I don't think that works. That's what we do to call birds out. Okay, I'm gonna sit quietly. Can you hear the squeaking? No, they've gone quiet. No, talk to us. I don't know what they say. Anyway. There's a few in here, and they're all making that chinny, chinny sound that mongoose seem to make. They don't actually go They don't do any of those sounds. It's just weird sounds we make at them, and they seem to enjoy it. There's a colony of mongoose that live under the Wendy house in camp, and I was trying to get them to come close to me yesterday. I was pretty close. I was like 2 meters away from them. I'm going to habituate them, and eventually they'll be crawling all on me like the meerkats do. So that's the idea behind that. I'll work on that habituation process. Although I've only got like a week to go, so best they get habituated fast. Oh, so it's been nice, hey? Just driving around. So I suppose it is a Sunday morning, taking it easy, not working too hard. That's what we're trying to not do. Steve, however, has done all the work this morning, and now he's taking a bit of a break.
Well, we are indeed enjoying the morning. It's been a busy one. It has. It's been busy, but been good. Wasn't expecting to find Hukumuri this morning. Craig heard him in the distance. We were enjoying that little bit of cuteness at the den. Nice to see all the 3 adults there. And Hukumuri, the gentleman who introduced us to that den site, just popped up, and Craig's still laughing a little bit at my reaction, because I came around the corner just like this, and suddenly, yeah, honestly, like, hey, how close was he, Craig? About that close, he was there, and I kind of felt him before I saw him, and I kind of did a bit of a jump in my chair. And I definitely said something I shouldn't have said live, which I'm glad I wasn't live at the time. You know when you get that bit of a fright? You know? No matter how prepared you are for something around the corner, just suddenly is the... So that's what happened. That was quite funny. It's always nice to make Craig laugh. Craig heard him calling, and then it's just sort of that instinct of where he walked last time. Almost thought about going around the other way. I thought, no, we got to go fire break, and he was right there. Surprising, I hadn't heard him, because I mean, Craig heard him calling, but you'd think if a leopard was 100 meters away or 50 meters away that I would have heard him, but I was so engrossed in my conversation about hyenas at the time that I didn't hear anything. This ear's free, but with this one, with this really big earpiece, it makes it quite difficult to hear anything in this ear apart from what's being spoken to me by Emma in the final control. But always nice to find a leopard after hearing a call. It does take a little bit of practice. Generally, a male or female leopard that are calling are generally on some form of territorial mission. So, a scent marking. I think I'd love you to play it, Emma. Emma says there's a replay of my reaction to the leopard. Now, I hope there's no volume, Emma. If there is, it's not my fault for airing it. So, whenever Emma's ready, she's going to send you over to a little replay of me, and hopefully it's on mute. Okay, let's do it. Ooh. Okay, well, and we locate Hukumuri, a very short clip. I don't know what's happening, apart from the fact that I had a bit of a fright. There we go. Looked to the right, and there he suddenly was. He was suddenly there. Suddenly very close. Did that look close to all of you back home? Felt very close. Felt very, very close. It's better than a double espresso coffee in the morning to wake yourself up. I've done that with Tingana once before as well. We heard a leopard calling around Gallagher. And I went there, and I came around the corner, he was just there. So it's where some driving skills come in, where you can drive just fast enough, but not too fast, because you never ever want to hurt an animal with a vehicle out here. I mean, there's always the potential to do it, but invariably you drive slowly. You drive a little bit quicker, but coming around a corner, especially when the grass is this long. You won't really see what's approaching. And I'd hate for that ever to happen to me. Always drive nice and safely. This is the animals' terrain. They don't really understand a road, so... Mushi, you said nice one. I need to go and have a look, because all I know is what I felt inside. I don't know what I looked like, but I do know that I reacted. It's one of those things that I always used to laugh at with my Trails Guide students. When you're on a walk, I'd have two students in front of me, so the lead and the second rifle would be walking there, and I'd be walking behind them. And Franklins are the worst thing when you're walking at you, because they erupt out of the bush. And I don't flinch anymore. Inside, I physically do one of these, but I don't flinch. But you see students, they're absolutely terrified. And the day you don't flinch with that, it means you're pretty good on foot. But there's nothing you can do when a leopard suddenly stands up next to you. There's just an instant you have to react. Anyway, I missed your comment there, Emma. Sorry, I was so caught up in my thoughts. Let me watch. You want to know what Hukumuri's name means, and I don't know what it means. James Henry has translated it, because Huku means chicken, and Muri is the sort of plural for muti, which is medicine. I don't know how that name came about. What I do know is that down in the south of the Sabi Sands, there's actually a river or a stream or a drainage line called Hukumuri. I believe that's probably where he was born, or because there's a Hukumuri lady as well, somewhere down there. So I don't know. Tristan, I think, seems to think Hukumuri is misnamed. But I really don't know what that name means. But it's basically like Quarantine is named after the area Quarantine where probably he was born, and a lot of other animals. So the buffalo has been here as well. His tracks. Here are his dung splatterings that Hukumuri was rolling in earlier. It might be Mary. I might have a bug on my collar. I can't see it. There's the buffalo. Do I have a bug on my collar, Craig? No? At least my straps are straight today, are they? Yeah. That is the bane for most of you out there. I do apologize. I need to have a servant every morning to help me dress. 75%. Okay, so buffalo is the same one that came in on the south. And Hukumuri found his scat, rolled in it like a good leopard. And then now that buffalo's crossed straight across there in the direction where the mating pair was yesterday. So that could be interesting. It's definitely not a guy I want to see on foot. Is a lone buffalo bull. Lone buffalo bulls are sort of, well, they also make you flinch when you see them at close quarters, because the problem is the buffalo bulls will lie down in the long grass or in a mud wallow, and they don't hear you coming. They just they fall asleep, and they're completely unaware of what's going on. Apparently there is a buffalo or two at the dam cam. That was very good. Well, we are a little bit away from the dam cam. Would we make that in time? No, we won't make it in time, unfortunately. But that one buffalo's gone in that direction towards where the Nkuhumas were yesterday. Maybe we will find him later. But anyway, for now, it's going to be goodbye from myself and Craig. I hope you enjoyed our segments this morning. It was wonderful having you with us. And we're going to go over to Taylor McCurdy, who's going to say goodbye.
Bye, Craig and Steve. See you later. Senzo, what are we having for breakfast today? What do you think? Bacon, eggs, fruit, beans. No beans. What do you think? I want pancakes. I was going to have fruit and yogurt and be healthy, but whatever. Oh well, right, so we're can't wait for breakfast, as you can imagine. Meow! The mongoose are here. There they are. Come, mongoose, come out. In that little mound. Let's put its head in. Oh, they're playing the weasel game because they're all popping their heads out. There we go, finally. We heard them chattering a little while ago, but we could not find them. But here they are. It's not the same group, but these are different mongoose. They could be the ones that like to live in camp. Can hear them. Chiggy! Chiggy! It's a really strange sound. There's another one to the right that's coming out even more. Can you see it? We're all here. Lovely. How cool is this? I've now caused the biggest traffic jam in the entire world because I've got Jamie and Rusty behind me, and behind them is Steve and Craig. So I'm seeing Craig and Steve a lot sooner than I thought. But this little mongoose is covered in sand and probably needs to get all cleaned up. Perhaps it's been wrestling one of its buddies. Maybe that's the case, but finally we were given an animal sighting right towards the end of show. Typical last-minute mongoose. But thank you very much for joining us today. What an exciting drive. Thank goodness Steve was on safari. We'll see you again this afternoon where hopefully the animals will be wonderful.